Hello, BB Gangsters. This is Cal. Oh.
Shh. Don't interrupt.
Oh, look, we're getting like a very active scene here. He ran away from us. Well, not ran away from us, but he's obviously like going to do something as well. Follow Cinderborn's footsteps. Which, man, the Cinderborn stuff like already like had me like, it had me worrying like a family member that's like going down the wrong path or something. You know, that kind of way where you're up all night thinking about it or something, you know? When Cinderborn like was like in that crowd, I was like, oh my god! I felt like a dad when where their child like is doing something that is like bad, and I was like, but you can't. But it's not like, you know, it's more like painful than it is anger inducing. You're like, oh man, not little Timmy. And it, you know, you're up all night. Well, I wasn't up all night. You know what I mean? It felt that way with Cinderborn because he's such a sweetheart. But hello, baby gang says this is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail.
What? You lost him?
Not even close.
He's like, I can pick up on him. It's really cool we're back here. This is the area where we were talking to Kuchiba last time, right? I love the locations in this game. They're so cool. So cool.
Why are you two following me?
Oh, he picked up on him.
Oh, we're just two grown-up fans of the Daybreak Squadron.
Oh, yeah?
Trying to get an autograph from Big Brother Magnus.
Mr. Ashvale? Don't prank me like that. You really scared me.
Because here's the thing, like, it's like he definitely did see him as he was walking by the crowd. That was the whole idea of the scene, right? They slowed down time to show that, like, they knew each other in some way, right? They definitely showed that off.
Really? Cinderborn, the peacekeeper of our city, vanquisher of evil fiends, is scared of his own fans?
Man, what a way to put it, right?
Long time no see, Magnus.
Man, Ashvale, every time I see him, like, I do think he gets a bit prettier every time.
You're not here for autographs, are you? I saw you two at the gathering. I don't understand. Why are you investigating Miss Fullwish?
And again, it's like I want to make this clear, any single individual who's not going through an absolutely painful time that needs someone like Miss Fullwish, I want to say they need someone like Miss Fullwish, would realize like right away, beyond a shadow of a doubt, how manipulative and how off-putting she is, right? Any single person would notice this right away. But because obviously like maybe something's happening with Cinderborn, they don't notice this, because I think any rational individual would see what Fullwish is saying and be like, she's so manipulative.
She's been nothing but a kind, lawful person who spreads happiness to others.
You heard about what happened with Sinwish Syndicate, I assume.
Oh, what's he gonna think about this?
Then, was Miss Fullwish telling the truth?
The perpetrator left the same signature as the Herald of Death did 15 years ago.
So, did that monster really kill Mr. Polwave and Costide? 15 years and he's back? This demon? How many more lives must he take?
And this is the thing as well, like, you cannot get the stain of what has happened with the Bloodstain games off at this place. It's been 15 years. Stuff like that in small towns or cities even doesn't leave the city for years and years, right? And like, the thing here as well is like, you can still, they're doing a really good job of showing that this is something that has affected everybody. Even people that maybe weren't directly affected, it's affected everybody and everyone's thinking about it not constantly, but like, when it's brought back up, it like brings up a lot of memories.
Mr. Magnus, you're one of the survivors of the incident, right?
This is way different, because I'm thinking as well, because like, oh, maybe he's like not directly involved, but he's a survivor. He just like Fullwish was a survivor, so it would have not only just affected him in that way, affected him in a crazy way.
Yes. That monster took my parents that day.
No wonder he's going through some crazy stuff, especially if he heard what happened with the Syndicate.
But what's the Sinwish Syndicate case got to do with Miss Fullwish?
That's freaking brutal, man.
Because that Herald of Death was executed 15 years ago. That's for certain. The Sinwish Syndicate case, on the other hand, has copycat written all over it. And Fullwish is a suspect.
Just coming right out with it, saying it right out.
So, just because we're survivors, we automatically become suspects? What? Are you gonna interrogate me too?
The idea of why they're suspects is because it's only people that know what the crime scenes were like and know all the information would actually know what happened to be able to recreate it. I think the reason why Foolish is more of a heavier suspect is because she mentioned like the actual calling cards and everything, I guess, as well.
If that's what you want, Miss Kuchiba can arrange for it later. For now, I just want to ask you a few questions about the Smiles Society.
It's so sad seeing this happen, like, because obviously, like, you know that Cinderborn has gone through an insane amount of stuff in his life. You know that he has, like, gone through, he's found a hero in Stell, but still, like, that's not going to placate all those emotions that you probably feel and the lost feeling you feel. So someone, again, as you said, like Foolish, being so kind and supportive and helping survivors of what happened that day, right? What you're going to see is someone who's actually, like, so magnificent. And we see this happen so many times, even, like, the most, like, I want to say it doesn't just take, like, well, actually it does. I want to say it does. Because I was saying it doesn't always take emotionally vulnerable people, but I think it's, like, one of those things where, like, every time I think of, like, like a major con where it's, like, an emotional con, it usually happens when it's, like, someone has, like, gone through something really, really bad. They need support. They're not really thinking about asking questions about, like, oh, this doesn't seem right. Wait, this person is acting weird. They're just going to accept the help and accept the comfort that comes with it.
It doesn't matter if you have a few or 100 questions. I have nothing to say to you.
Cinderborn.
15 years ago, I was left all alone in this
Oh.
world. The so-called relatives closed in like a pack of hyenas, their eyes fixed solely on the compensation smeared with my parents' blood.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Abuse, deception, expulsion. To them, I was nothing more than a walking money bag, an eyesore, a jinx.
That, again, you can see no wonder, again, on the baseline of his losing his parents, but then becoming like a victim to his extended family as well. Becoming, as what he says here, like, again, it's like to him, he's someone who is like, who they probably saw as, like, you know, what was left of their family, but then, as he said, vultures trying to take this money off him as well, as if that's the most important thing of what happened there.
It was the society that gave me the chance to live the life I have now.
And there it is, someone who's vulnerable, easiest person to pick to get to do this stuff.
What about the Sinwish Syndicate then? If I recall correctly, they took care of you once. Old Polwave helped you deal with those relatives.
Listen, Mr. Ashvale, the debt I owe the Sinwish Syndicate will be paid. I will avenge them as a member of the Smile Society as well as the Daybreak
I don't think
Squadron.
you can combine those as much as you think.
The Herald of Death out from the shadows in their name and see justice served. That is my duty.
Great voice acting performance here, but like, and also you can hear the kind of gravelly and raspiness in the voice. It's a lot of passion. It's a lot of, like, really heavy, like, emotion that's bottled up as well. When I say you can't combine them as well as he thinks, right now he thinks he can, because he thinks the Smile Society and the Daybreak Squadron are, like, just both this big moral good. But also as well, like, this whole thing of, like, I'll take the Herald of Death, I'll take them out of the shadows. The reason why this hits so hard as well is because, like, you know, you can't deny how much this has hurt these people, how much this has affected even people that weren't directly involved are affected by it. And then also at the same time too, it's like you're talking about he traces back all the stuff with his extended family, his parents dying, and of course you would trace it back because that's what you trace it back to. Everything that's happened that's bad in his life, he traces back to the Herald of Death, of course. Like, you don't even have to say that. Like, oh my God, it does. So I feel like it's one of those things where, like, while the Smile Society, like, gives him a place where he can belong, while the Daybreak Squadron gives him an avenue to get that revenge and to get that justice, the Herald of Death feels like it's almost like the medicine. If I get rid of the Herald of Death, it almost feels like it's okay. I've done what I'm supposed to do.
You're in over your head.
I agree. This is serious stuff.
The new Herald of Death is very dangerous. I doubt a handful of actors like you can achieve anything substantial.
Ashvale's very direct honesty is something that's a really cool trait about him.
You think we're just a couple of kids playing superheroes with masks, right? Well, you're wrong. My squad mates and I aren't the easy pushovers we used to be, Mr. Ashvale.
And what's so crazy is to be in this kind of cult of smiles, you kind of have to be like, and I don't mean this is insulting me because I never want to insult anyone who's going through something like this. You kind of have to be like the pushover that Full Wish needs you to be.
I haven't had my transformation surgery yet, but I can already power a Mechatron warrior in battle. We are real heroes here.
I'm not doubting you again, because you're Cinderborn, like literally like an episode or two ago, I think 2 episodes ago, we were talking about how much we adored you and how inspirational you were. So it's never like, I don't think Ashvale's doubting like your spirit or what you want to do with this. I think it's legitimately about how dangerous this is. So what does it mean by transformation surgery, by the way?
Boys, let's stay on topic, shall we? I just wanted to have a few words about the society.
Is it into like becoming like a hero or like to becoming like, I'm not sure. Maybe they said this before and I just forgot. I slipped my mind because the last episode I recorded was like nearly a week ago. Maybe.
I have nothing to say to you either, Miss Kuchiba.
Jesus.
Neither of you are getting a word out of me on this.
The anger, the bitterness, because again, it's what's happening right now is Ashvale is confronting his not only just like his worldview, right? That is locked in place with the Society of Smiles. Not just confronting his like wants and something he has a desire to do. It's confronting like what he believes almost is like a life creed to get this justice. What has affected him, what changed him, and how the society has helped him. This is like everything to him.
Well done, Magnus. Your loyalty to the Smile Society warms our hearts.
No, it's so brutal. Like as I said, it's like a family member going down the wrong path. It hurts.
You're following me?
Not by choice. These IPC dogs made it clear that they intend to frame Miss Foolish. Oh, we're not going to just let this slide.
Would you look at that? The hunters become the hunted.
I was gonna say Ashvale is not IPC, but like once you accept help from the like in terms of like getting a master in the IPC, like I feel like that's why they're lumping him in there. He's not IPC, but they took a mask from the IPC because again, like working with the IPC doesn't make you IPC. I want to make that clear. It doesn't. But he did take a mask of the IPC, which means he is technically working with the IPC. So that's probably why they like see it this way as well. Kuchiba is IPC, 110%, and he's now working with an IPC officer as well directly. So like you can see why people would have perceptions like that. But as we always say, like the IPC are the economy. They are the structural force sometimes of the world. So you will find yourself having to work with them at some point, to get something.
What does it matter? If someone's looking for a beating, we'll gladly give it to them.
Man, the direct side of Ashvale is so interesting.
You have 5 minutes for questioning. So make it count, Mr. Ashvale. They're all yours.
I love Kuchiba, because remember before Kuchiba's like, just don't do it in front of me if you're going to torture people. Kuchiba's like very much like, bend the rules a little bit. Kuchiba literally turning your back.
I expected my first miracle as a supplicant to be teaching thugs. Lawful citizens, a lesson on the streets.
At this stage, as well. That's a nice pink sweater vest the guy's over there. Can you get that for me, Ashvale?
Let's get this over with then. And if you want to join them too, Magnus, be my guest. Fair warning. I'm out of practice. If you get hurt, that's your problem.
Oh, we could use Ashvale. Really cool.
Your fists don't hurt at all.
Mr. Ashvale, stop!
What's really funny? I've been playing Clear Obscura on the channel as well. And I literally tried to parry. I tried to parry a move there. That's very funny. You know what I mean? Because actually, can I say as well, when I was playing Clear Obscura as well, I want to be honest with you guys. I at one point was looking for my ultimate for a split second. I was like, oh yeah. Because again, if you're playing 2 turn-based RPGs at the same time for hours on end, it's probably going to happen. So let's see what we can do here. So let's start with just a basic kit to see what it looks like. Whip of the Cane.
Stand still.
We obviously want to see his ultimate, so I think I'm going to use basic attacks until we can see his ultimate, right? I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Oh, we have 2 hits as well, but yeah, once we see the ultimate, we can...
Looks like I've got a winning hand.
we can go full throttle.
Relax.
Watch your head.
Great shot here as well.
Stand still.
I'm actually, oh.
fight to the death.
What was that? What is he? What is Ashvale? I do want to say that like I actually recently like deleted Genshin off of my PlayStation and put it on Xbox, the Series X. So for the first time ever, this is the only Hoyo game on my system for now. And what's so funny about it is like, you know, it feels weird just seeing the Honkai logo on the PlayStation. It like feels almost like really sad, you know. But again, they both cost so much stories that I had to like, you know, I had to make some room. And Genshin's on Xbox, and it's the same game. They give you your same account. It just has different buttons. So it's like, yeah, say it runs the same. It's 4K 60. It's like, yeah. So it just made sense. But it's just weird now seeing only the Honkai logo there. But you know,
Going all in. Tabs on me.
it was either that or like get like a external storage or storage for the system, which again wouldn't have been bad. Like I could have done that, and we might have to do it at some point. But
I see through you.
cool move. Like it's almost like pulling at them.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ashvale. I have to stop you.
Oh, Cinderborn. We're fighting Cinderborn.
Cinderborn, the bringer of justice.
Again, you can tell why like this.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, Cinderborn's telling him to shut up as well.
Relax.
I rewind. So yeah, we're gonna have to like. There it is. There it is.
Sins must be paid.
This move is insane. But now we can see another probably insane move too.
My blood to consume beasts.
What is this?
And slaughter each other.
What the hell?
Go and fight to the death.
It hurts a little, but I'm happy.
Sorry guys for the silent. That looked like a world-ending move that Ashvale just pulled off. I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, that looked like final boss move. That looked like the move that you'd have in like a Dragon Quest like boss at the end. That was like, come on guys, final battle against this Final Fantasy boss. You will not defeat me, I will destroy the world. Ding ding, ding ding, ding ding. And then the move happens, it's sucking you up through these like freaking like crazy sharp edges. What the hell, man? It hurts a little bit. I'm happy. Why you're happy?
There's something seriously wrong with
Yes,
you all.
100%, 110%, 110%, 110%.
Enough. Are you really going to kill
What is
them?
Cinderborn? Think of what you're saying here. You're asking, is Ashvale going to murder these people in cold blood?
What's the matter, defender of the city? Are you scared?
Ashvale, oh, instead of being like, why would I kill these people? Because we know Ashvale's not going to murder them. Is he using this as a teaching lesson?
This is the real
Yeah, he is,
Fantasmoon
he is.
Games, Magnus. This is the bloody truth under the mask of the Elations game.
He's using this as a teaching moment to be like, hey, like, you think you can stop the Herald of Death? You couldn't stop me with a full group.
15 years ago, at dusk in this city, the Herald of Death tore people apart, one by one. Did he ever stop to ask even once, is it enough?
Yes.
I know you want to make something out of yourself, like the trailblazer of the Astral Express, and I know you want to catch the new Herald of Death and crush him like a bug, using the same methods he used against the Sinwish Syndicate.
Yes. I think what Ashvale's doing here is very, very good. It's very good.
But here's the deal. It's not your duty. And the Eonic game sure isn't a TV show where you get to play the
Yes,
hero
he's being
and save the day.
Harsh, but true. But you know what the difference is? Because I always dislike people who go like, I'm an honest asshole. It's like, well, do you enjoy being an asshole or do you enjoy being honest? Which is the one? Because usually people who say I'm an honest asshole enjoy being an asshole more. Ashvale right now, he's telling Cinderborn what he needs to hear. And it's harsh, it hurts, but it's the truth. And what he said earlier as well, that like this line here about the Herald of Death not asking is enough. The Herald of Death isn't going to do what Ashvale did here. Ashvale beat the living crap out of everyone here, won the battle, and said, I'm not going to kill them. The Herald of Death ain't going to do that. The Herald of Death ain't going to stand here talking to him. They're going to murder you. Ashvale's doing such a good job with this explanation here as well. And again, I love what he says, like, you want to be like Stell. You want to be this hero. But this isn't a TV show. These are real Aeonic games. It hurts to hear, but it's the truth.
You
Cinderborn.
mentioned a transformation surgery earlier. Are you saying that all society members underwent some kind of unknown modification?
Wait, so everyone else has already been transformed, but he hasn't yet?
That figures. I was wondering why these people looked like they felt no pain at all.
That's crazy.
Humming along merrily even as they bled. Does this have anything to do with the surgery?
That is disgusting. The idea that they modified them, surgically modified them, and they're laughing as they're like bleeding. Oh my god! I thought it was like maybe transforming into like being a hero or something, like for his like crew.
Nothing to say? Fine by me. 3 minutes left. That's long enough for me to question that.
That's so brutal. If that's no, not if that's what happened. Like he was quiet there. Silence can sometimes tell a whole story. If you ask somebody like well, did you do it? You know what I mean? And they go, no. Come on. Like that's usually yes, right? Did you get the surgery? In fact, that's yes. That's a yes. That's a yes. If you ever ask somebody, hey, did you take my last cake slice out of the fridge? And they go, what cake? You know the answer.
Time to hurry and get some answers from these
Don't take my
people while
cake.
they're still on the ground.
Jesus. Look who... This is a great lesson for for Cinderborn, by the way. Asheville didn't just beat up 3 people. This is a party. This is a crew he just beat up. And again, as he said, the Herald of Death would not be talking to Cinderborn right now. They would be dead. He wouldn't have stopped there.
Hey, lackey. Wake up.
I love Asheville's brutally forward nature. I like it because again, he was bumbling when we met him. He still is funny. He still is charming. He still is like kind of like a little bit of like a bumbling detective. But you can see why he is like also like has respect of people and why he's also been called in to do jobs when he needs to do a job. And it's also his serious nature that we've already seen in terms of like he's good at doing these jobs, combined with the idea that he is someone who is also affected by the Herald of Death, right? Someone who already has a bitterness about the stuff with the Herald of Death. And I'm suspicious as well. I think that the divisions he's been happening, I think they also relate to maybe like something like Survivor's Guild. I think it's all coupled together.
Pain should not exist.
That's wishful thinking. Just being honest with you, I'd love it too. If I ever get a toothache again, I'd be with you. But like it's it's part of life sometimes,
Smile. Please smile.
And you guys know my feeling on like trying to make people happy with in a forceful nature.
The laughter. Don't let it stop.
The girl's face first on the ground, on the pavement, saying this, on the pavement. Dear Lord, man. Oh my God. That was legitimately one of the scariest things they've ever done in Honkai Star Rail. Bring you all the way to the end of here, turn around, and everyone stands up. Not everyone, but most of them. Absolutely brutal. Like creepy beyond belief. Holy hell.
Those who suffer shouldn't be.
This is so creepy. This is so creepy.
What the heck happened to these
It's
people?
even stopping Asheville's in his track as it would.
This is the small procedure that official
Small.
members receive. They call it the happiness surgery.
Small. This isn't small. Cinderborn.
With a prick of the needle, no more than a mosquito's bite. The doctor puts this small thing inside your eyelids, even smaller than a synesthesia beacon.
Your eyelids.
And more convenient. People who have had the surgery say that it soothes all your pain and suffering, past or present.
And you again, as I said, like I never want to like. This is horrific. This is absolutely horrific. But I never want to like sit here and be like overly judgy of people who did this to themselves, because it is taking advantage of vulnerable people. That's what happens, right? These people were vulnerable. They were in pain, and these type of people that do this stuff, they walk amongst us in society. Cinderborn, you would not have known just from talking to earlier with Stell that he was planning on doing this. Because what we saw was an inspirational lad who looked up to Stell. That's all we saw.
Even your body becomes stronger, and your mind clearer and more focused. A state where you can truly receive happiness.
It's not true happiness, though. Masking pain with fake happiness is not true happiness.
So, you haven't had this happiness surgery yet, right?
I'm not ready yet. I've been thinking it over.
Which makes sense why in the battle he was telling the other members to shut up.
But the rest of the squadron had it,
Oh,
and they've all become happier.
effing hell, man. All the squadron already did it?
They say it's the necessary step to becoming a true
No.
superhero that safeguards everyone
No.
else's happiness. If I don't do it, then do I still deserve the name Cinderborn?
Yes, Cinderborn, I need you to understand something. The fact that you are going through so much pain and still wanted to help people, that's your strength, and that's what Stell told you. The fact that you've gone through so much and you still had the desire to get up and help people, and the want to help people, means you were already worthy of being a hero. Already.
Mr. Ashvale,
Oh, Cinderborn.
what should I do?
Oh, Cinderborn.
The surgery won't make you stronger, nor will it help you get your revenge. These guys on the floor are proof
Exactly.
enough.
They're flopping around the floor. They don't have a thought for themselves.
Remember the hesitation and fear you feel in this moment, Magnus. If people simply erase their perception of fear
Oh,
and
so
pain
good, so
instead
true.
of overcoming them, then those people will never find true strength.
So freaking true. As we said, it's because this stuff is scary and he still wanted to fight the Herald of Death. It's because of he went through so much and still wanted to help people as the Daybreak Squadron. That's why he is powerful. That's why he will find his true strength. That's why he will get better.
Go now. I have some cleaning up to do.
Asheville leaving the decision with him as well, by the way. What a brutal sequence. What a brutal sequence. And they all collapsed again? This was hard to get through. This was hard to look at, hard to get through completely. And it's just literally the fact as well, as he said there, like Cinderborn, they masterfully wrote this by having Cinderborn show up with Stell and us being so inspired by Cinderborn, and then seeing what was under the hood, what was upsetting them, what was breaking them apart, and then showing us exactly where this can lead to and what the Society of Smiles is doing. This is beyond a group of supports, and we know this, it's a cult. But they're surgically doing this as well. They're injecting people with this stuff in their eyelids to become husks to their forms of. And I agree with Asheville 100%. Asheville was totally brutal, but he was totally right there. The people who mask their own pain. I want to make it clear when I say this. I'm not talking about people who, like, if you're going through something very, very bad and you take medicine for it. I'm not saying that. I hope it doesn't ever sound like that. But I have to say that just in case, some passerby goes, "Are you saying this and that as well?" Never would I say that. But I'm talking about in this sense, in terms of the magical and mythical sense of like creating or changing your emotions through like an injection completely and making you a zombie. These people will never know what it's like to overcome something that is actually ailing them, because instead they just masked it. It's the same, and here's a bad analogy for you, but I'm going to say it anyway. If your, I don't know, shower is falling apart, and the face is coming off it, and instead of buying a new one or fixing it, you just put some tape on it and hope that it will stay together. Yeah, you can still shower, right? But it's never going to be like fully fixed, right? Again, bad analogy. If you are this person who is masking this stuff with a band-aid that is a horrific band-aid. These people will never truly overcome what happened in their lives because already it's just a band-aid over a gigantic wound. It's just so horrible. It's so horrible.
So, did you pry the answers you were looking for?
I love
out of
Kochiba
them?
turning around as well. This whole part made me feel so bad.
These people have all been processed by the Smiles Society. Heck, who knows what method they used. It completely neutralized their ability to feel suffering and despair and gave them bodies like steel, incapable of feeling pain. Say, is this the kind of treatment that the Medical Ethics Committee would approve?
As if. I doubt they even bothered to submit an application.
Of course, right? Well, you'd hope, right? You'd hope.
Which means Fullwish has far more dirty laundry than we initially expected.
Like, the IPC, I want to make this clear, like, whenever I say, like, the IPC wouldn't, like, accept this, right? It's not me saying that the IPC is, like, good, right? But, like, I feel like even the IPC understands that, like, this is a road that, is not to be followed. Again, and someone's gonna say, well, Calvin, like, they literally, like, you know, take over planets. Yes, 100%, but they can justify that in their mind and to people. And they have tried to do that, right? We saw the way Topaz justified the near takeover of Balebog in their mind. But I'm talking about in this sense, right? You can't, there's no way you can actually justify this.
The idea was to find the Herald of Death with the leads we had. And here we are, going deeper down an increasingly scarier rabbit
And just to
hole.
put a thing, I'm not saying that it is justifiable what they did when they took over plans. I'm saying that they will find a way in their hearts and their minds to try and justify it. But there's no way you can even, like, trick yourself into justifying this, you know?
Judging by their voices, these followers don't seem to have any ill intentions. In fact, they sound a lot more humane than most humans. If all this has nothing to do with the Herald of Death, then it matters little to our investigation. After all, how they pursue happiness is their own choice. Wouldn't you agree?
No. No, that's not how it works, Kochiba. It's not how it works.
Are you
I disagree
serious,
completely.
Kochiba?
I think that's a very, very bad view. I think it's a bad view. Someone might say, well, they deserve to take an injection 110% and all this stuff as well, like if they want. But, like, the problem is, you're talking about people who are vulnerable. You're talking about people who are going through an immense amount of pain. They don't pick people who are going through a great time. They don't pick someone who is, like, you know, having a good day. They pick people who are going through something bad when their mental state is already broken. That's who they pick.
It's only human instinct to avoid
Stop.
pain, right? Such avoidance doesn't go against the laws of nature, nor does it legally constitute
What?
a crime when the party involved was a
I'm
voluntary
pretty sure,
participant.
maybe it's not here, but I'm pretty sure there is, like, crimes against, like, cults. There's, like, laws against this, or maybe there's, I don't know, maybe not, but, like, I'm pretty sure there are. And again, it's not about crimes, it's about morality.
Not a crime. Well, my instinct right now is telling me that this definitely has something to do with the Herald of
And
Death.
this is what we always say, right? Like, again, we work with IPC people all the time, but we're always met then with the cold iron, like, barricade of the IPC sometimes too. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Kochiba's like a cold character. I'm not saying Kochiba's like some cold menace. Kochiba's saying from the letter of the law, like, what can I do? But legitimately, I'm talking about, like, in terms of, like, morality, there is no justification. And someone might say, well, Calvin, then what about the Sunday thing? I didn't justify the Sunday thing either, right? But there is an argument to be made, I think, with the Sunday thing where it's like, you know, again, it's people making a choice, but I still disagreed with that choice, right? Again, I understand from the perspective of someone, as I said this in Penacony too, if someone is, like, on their deathbed and is like, I just want to live forever, I don't want to sit there and be like, no, don't do it, you know what I mean? And you could say, well, Calvin, what about someone who's, like, just going through something so horrible, so horrific, and they want to take this injection? It's like, will I judge them? No, I'm not judging anyone in this room. And anyone in this alley, I'm not judging it for a single second, and you know I'm not. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with it. That doesn't mean I think it's a good idea. That doesn't mean I think pacification like this in such a brutal way is a good idea. They pick people who are vulnerable. They pick people who are vulnerable. That's the problem with this.
Unfortunately, Mr. Ashvale, we need evidence to solve a case.
I'm here to follow my senses and dig up whatever's at the bottom of this. As for evidence, that's your headache. Besides, I don't think we need to turn over every stone to figure it out. If the new Herald of Death and Full Wish are connected, we'll be seeing another move soon enough. If I were her, I'd choose the brightest stage possible so this weapon could spread maximum panic.
So, yeah, so we talked about the idea of like, the last time how fear being spread is also the same thing as getting support, right? So the idea of the Herald of Death being something very powerful that can like extend fear to everyone will make them more powerful. If it is to do Full Wish, as you said, like you choose the biggest stage you can, you pick the biggest reach you can, and you spread it. Just the same way Sparksy was going to spread it through SparksyCon. Her idea.
You mean the Star Rail Fest?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Madame Pearl promised that top-level security would be deployed during the fest, as well as a contingency plan, robust enough to quell any crisis.
And it's interesting because this is being used obviously to get the Express some notoriety, right? And also to draw out possibly Full Wish or the Herald of Death. So this is all like, you know, it's all dovetailing. It's all coming together.
And you are staring right at him.
Asheville. Whoa. Oh, okay. Oh! Don Hong and Sunday? So pretty.
According to Sunday, the crow should lead me to Blade's whereabouts. Since it stopped here, that means...
Wait, I thought we were going to Star Rail Fest when I saw the tutorial on Star Rail Fest. We're going... No way, no way. No way! No.
I wasn't even looking
No.
for you. Yet here
No.
you are, throwing yourself into the fray.
There's no one...
Consider me surprised.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What can I do? What can I say?
We haven't even
Oh my
settled
God.
the score over the mask you stole from the Sinwish Syndicate.
my God.
And now you're skulking around and following us?
Stop.
What's your deal?
This is so exciting. This is terrifying, exciting, beautiful, everything in between. There's no way in hell I thought I was going to see Blade. I thought when we saw Blade, it was going to be a moment where like a big battle or something and he shows up. How cool is it that he shows up with Don Hong trying to find him in the back of like an alleyway at night?
What do you, or should I say, all of you want?
That bitterness is still there, right? The bitterness is still there. Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna die. What if I died? I'm just looking, my eyes are darting back and forth at the two of them.
General Yao Guang of Yu Chui has come to this world and is looking for you.
Look at him, he's just a baby. He's just a baby girl. Look at him.
Dragons clash in the wilderness, their ichor dark and yellow. In her divination, you will become a slave to your own violence,
Yes.
bringing a catastrophic end to all. I am in that future as well.
This is, I'm sorry, but this is like so brave of Don Hong. And again, we wouldn't have seen this at the start of this Yan show, right? But Don Hong seeking out Blade about this prophecy, about this divination.
The only violence within you that comes to my mind is Shuhu.
Shuhu. Shuhu.
The emanator of abundance who resurrected time and time again. The monster who turned planets into living beings and merged billions of people into flesh spheres.
What? What? Why is Honkai Star Rail like the most disgusting, scariest thing ever now? What is happening? Every single time there's a scene now, they're like, and they injected people in their eyeballs, and they're now sphere people that are merged together. Like, we killed Ska. Like there's like this, everything is freaking like crazy now. Everything's like a horror movie now. What the freaking hell? So this is what Dan Hong believes, like, and then he turned his head as well. Shuhu.
The Xianzhou fears that he is using your body to resurrect himself.
Oh my god, I totally get what you guys say by getting face cam. I just like pressed my hands against my face so hard. This is terrifying. Because what a way to set up this already, by the way, right? And they maybe mentioned it before as well, but like explaining what they did, turned planets into living beings, merged billions of people into flesh spheres, and now he's trying to resurrect himself possibly resurrect himself through Blade. And he said like this emanator of the abundance who resurrected time and time again, which we know the Blade resurrects, right? Every time he dies. Oh no, Dan Hong, stand back.
So, what's your plan? Kill me again.
I'm holding my breath, guys. This is the way the angle went there as well was like, and again, I think it's intentional because Dan Hong is like a shorter dude, right? He is. So when Blade walked into frame, it was like Blade was getting bigger, and he was towering over Dan Hong as well. It's like a horror movie. And then this line too.
Oh my. Things are getting a little heated. Should I get you both slushies?
Oh my god, Silverwolf dissipating the tension there for a second too. Look at this scene, man. What are we looking at right now? We're looking at Blade, and I genuinely thought this was gonna be like Act 3, 4, whatever. Or like, not, maybe like, you know, again, as I said, I thought it was gonna be like, we weren't gonna see a Dan Hong and Blade confrontation for a while. But like, again, we have to, a reminder, Dan Hong is like a different person. He's a different mindset now. He's no longer plagued to death in terms of like not being able to move with the memory of Blade or the vision of Blade trying to kill him anymore.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll pass.
Take the slushie. Man, that's... Okay, I'm sorry, but this is so fun. This went from horror movie to hilarious.
Thank you.
I'll pass.
And they still say it with the tension in their teeth pressed together. Thank you. I'll pass. Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
While General Yao Guang's divination may foretell a death battle between us, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the only interpretation.
Every single frame, I have to acclimate myself to the fact that Dan Hong and Blade are in the same scene. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't care if like this is like annoying that like I keep pausing to the point of like I'm just can't even deal with it. Like I keep it's melting my mind just looking at this. This has been, in terms of my real time in this world, what, like a year in the making? Around that? Maybe a bit more? Maybe a bit less? A year. And again, here's the thing. Very scary at first in this scene, right? With the whole the blade showing up towards Da Hong, but they turned it into very like cute after a while. I wonder if like they're trying to give that to like the, you know, I think they probably knew the community at Star Rail as well. While they understand that Blade is a serious character, while they understand the situation around Blade and Dan Hong was very serious, they gave us all those serious things, and it still is serious. It's very serious, of course. But I think they also know that, like, you know, Dan Hong and Blade getting together, like, is going to be like a fandom special. It's going to be one of those things where people are going crazy, right? For sure. I mean, I could barely contain myself. So giving us also like this kind of very like cutesy fun thing as well with the slushies and like the framing of them two, like, you know, facing each other, I think it actually is really not a bad idea, right? Because it never lets it because I think, you know, it never lets it pass into the realm of like, is this too much, right? Is the anger they have for each other like so aggressive that you can't even enjoy the scene? We got to have that tension, and they also like dissipate it a little bit so we can like maybe enjoy the reunion in some ways before they build the tension back up again.
The Express have shown me time and time again that even fates set in stone aren't entirely immovable.
Yes, we've had many variables. Look at that side profile. These shots.
I have no intention of getting into a quarrel with you. but I need to make sure
Don
that
Hong.
the presence of the Stellaron hunters won't endanger my companions or the future of this planet.
Don Hung. I need some assurances.
Thus, I must know your purpose here, Blade. What has Destiny's Slave written in your script?
This shows the growth of a character. In what universe did we think that Don Hung at the start of the Xian show would walk up to Blade and say, "Tell me why you're here. Do not hurt my friends. You better not hurt my friends. You better not hurt this planet."
He stated this trip would be connected to death.
Oh my god.
Should I congratulate you?
Right, because again, Blade searches for death. He longs for death.
Much obliged. In my experience, it's best not to get your hopes up too soon.
Oh my god.
Prophecies rarely unfold the way you expect.
So that's so, it's not, again, it's only a conversation that you can have with Blade. The fact that, like, he, again, flippantly kind of goes, "Oh, should I say congratulations then?" Because it's a weirder situation. Blade wants to die. Blade looks for his death. It's a completely different situation than what we're used to. Any other character that's like, "Oh, my prophecies related to death," what would we react like? Holy hell. And again, it is holy hell, but it's more of a thing as well where it's like, this is like the equivalent of, like, someone getting into, like, the college they've been looking to get into. This is the equivalent of someone, like, getting that promotion. Blade, like, having something that's related to death is like the equivalent of him getting a promotion. It's such a different dynamic.
However, the General's divination isn't entirely baseless. Ever since my arrival here, I have been feeling restless.
Oh my god. Planet Arcadia is the best region, the best planet. Remember I made a tribute song to a tribute video for Amphorius? I'm just gonna make a tribute video to the scene. That's what I could have freaking do.
There's another power here.
What? What is beckoning you? What is it?
Is there another form of abundance in the world besides you?
Oh my god.
Perhaps there is more than one.
What could that be?
Are you referring to the disciples of Sanctus Medicus?
What?
Or the Elixir Seekers?
What?
Something far more
What? Oh
dangerous.
my god. And the split screen?
Do they have support from other factions?
Unclear.
Unclear. These, like, one-word answers in some senses are as well, right? Great sequence there.
As such, I'll keep an eye on you until everything settles. Just like you did in the past.
Oh my god, like the soft but firm voice of Don Hong to get right up in Blade's face.
That's as far as I'll go.
Oh my god, Don Hong. I'm like looking around the room for, like, safety. But I don't want to be safe. I'm happy here. You know what I mean? I feel the danger. I feel the tension, right? Your body says go. Right, but my heart says sit right here, Calvin. Stay in the scene. You know, that's what I'm feeling right now. This is so well done in terms of tension. It's the build-up of, like, a year of, like, complete tension of what's going to happen when they meet up again. And the fact that Don Hong is the aggressor in the most cases, he's the one who's being the more aggressive one, is such an interesting choice. Is that a little smile? Right up in the faces.
You two just agree to some weird collaboration before me?
I think so. He's gonna be watching out for Blade.
I'll leave that matter in your hands, Silver
You
Wolf.
deal with the official stuff.
I don't get it. That good-for-nothing detective didn't even blink an eye before selling us out to Pearl. And you still plan on working with him?
That is true. She is correct in that sense. Guys, my heart is pounding. I need to express, like, how amazing this scene is. And again, you can say, like, how it is because, like, again, as I said, the fandom probably would see, like, a tension of a shipping kind, right? But I'm not even saying that. Like, there is obviously, like, there's one of those things where, like, obviously you can, like, there's again, you're not wrong for thinking, or no one's wrong for feeling like that kind of tension either, right? Jesus Christ, like we can all feel aspects of it, of course. But I think like what I feel like also in this scene too is just like this heavy air, this feeling of like two people that like are almost destined always to be like to clash in some ways. Dan Heng being the aggressor this time. It's a reveal of some power that's drawing Blade to this location. The Dan Heng giving the information on what could the Shuhu thing, what could be the thing that would like resurrect inside of Blade. Like this whole scene was so tension filled. This way they shot everything. Dan Heng getting right up in Blade's face. It's one of those situations where like this is equal parts just an unbelievably well written scene in terms of like tension and drama. This is equal parts a beautiful scene in terms of like the fandom tension that everyone's gonna feel, that everyone's like, you know, furiously going to like, you know, write some fan fictions right now. You know what I mean? That's it too. And it's also in terms of like a comedic scene as well. They've done such a good job of like, you know, adding a balance to it, so it's not like this overload of things. This is a perfect scene and it's not even over yet.
There are things only he can get done.
I feel the same way about you, Blade. I feel the same way about you, buddy. There's things only Asheville can get done. Miva and Dover just don't go. I can't.
Hey, you two. Why the long faces?
I feel like I'm gonna pass
On
out.
land blessed by the Master of Elation, frowning is bad manners.
I'm supposed to play the rest of this? I'm supposed to play the rest of this? What an amazing scene. Again, as I said, drama, comedy, tension, food for the fandom. That's a perfect scene. That's a perfect scene.
Come on, smile. Whether you're hungry or full, poor
I'm
or
full.
rich, the laughter is with you.
I'm full.
Would you be interested in learning about our Research Society of Happy Smiles?
My injection into my eyeball was that scene, actually. That's what it was. That was so good. We gotta get back in the zone. We gotta get back in the zone. That was so perfect. Gotta get back in the zone.
Thank you.
Oh my
but
god.
I'll pass.
What a combo here. They're trying to recruit these guys now.
Another one. How many people have been talking to us about
It
happiness
seems
today?
to be growing then as well. It seems to be growing.
Well, 6 exactly.
It seems like a lot of 6 people are doing it, right?
Locals say ever since the Sinwish Syndicate case, this Research Society of Happy Smiles has exploded in size.
Because fear grew as well.
That gang's fall left a power vacuum, and the Research Society of Happy Smiles filled it like a fast-growing fungus. Even those who were once resistant or indifferent got swept up in it.
There you go. I guess there's also a power vacuum there as well.
I think I'm starting to get a better picture now. Is this, by any chance, tied to what you're preparing to do in the Phantasm Moon games?
Not only me. It might also be tied to the ominous fate General Yao Guang warned about. The one looming over this world.
Everything's related back to that fate, right? Even like they're talking about the stuff with the blade stuff as well.
A few days ago, when I used the tuning power to help her intervene at Sparksicon, I caught a strange sound echoing in people's minds.
A strange sound?
Yes.
cheerful, happy laughter echoing in their heads.
So that's what it sounds like?
Oh, without those gangsters, this street's much cleaner now.
It's a dangerous look to have because, again, as you said, if anyone sat here and said, all those people that used to pressure us, take our money, beat us up are gone, I'm not going to judge them, right? You wouldn't judge them. But the fact that like these people just got slaughtered and the answer is laughter and happiness, because the thing is, like, my first reaction, even if these were people that were horrible to us in my city, people were horrible, they hurt people, it would be 100% okay for you to say they hurt my family member, F them. I'm not going to judge you. But I still think it's like unusual not to sit here and be like, a whole organization got slaughtered brutally in cold blood close by. That would be terrifying, upsetting, and traumatic regardless of who it was, you know? And fearful of the future. You'd be fearful of the future as well, for sure.
The so-called voice of Aha those society recruiters claim to hear? Could the Joy Seeker truly be so passionate about universal redemption?
Redemption?
Whatever that is, it's not Aha's laughter.
Yeah, I imagine you couldn't harness the idea of a god into an injection. Like, well, maybe God remains, but I feel like it's like, you know, you're not. This society doesn't have Aha's like power in an injection to people's eyes, you know.
From the moment I set foot on this street, I've been using my tuning ability to sense the residents' minds. Miss Tingyun, allow me to correct you. Those connected to the Research Society of Happy Smiles number not 6, but 42.
42? What do you mean? Like...
Each of them carries the same sound. Identical laughter. Looping endlessly like a broken record.
Was he saying like it's because they all sound the same, they like duplicated or something? Or they seemed like there was less?
Mind control? Or something worse?
Are you trying to say that this is tied to the harmony?
My apologies. I dare not make such wild assumptions.
I mean, it's good to look at every avenue though, right?
No, this isn't the work of any tuner. It feels like a barrier, born from the human mind itself, to numb the unbearable pain it cannot endure.
It's interesting as Sunday, because of this type of tuning, he like picked up on it so quickly, right? So quickly. You know, and from something that, and since we already know the information about like this is exactly what it's doing, it's interesting that like that's Sunday's able to pick up on it so quickly. Something we already kind of like know exactly what's happening with like their minds, I guess, in terms of like the reason behind it, to numb that pain.
Like a worn-out tape recorder hidden deep in the subconscious, repeating the same thing over and over. I am happy. I am happy.
That's so scary.
So, whose divine handiwork is this supposed to be now?
Wherever this laughter comes from, causing so many people to self-deceive in perfect unison while enduring pain is well beyond the capabilities of a mere charitable group.
So he's saying it goes beyond the Society of Smiles. It has to be something way more...
Beneath these calm waters, the undercurrents are far more turbulent than anyone imagines.
Wow. So again, even like the dangerous nature of the Society of Smiles is not just that. And maybe like because he doesn't know fully about the cultish nature of that, maybe he's more just saying it is like in his mind, he's like, there has to be something more to this, which you do know there is something more to this like society, right? But also you also saw Blade saying like, you know, there's something calling him here as well. You know, that he doesn't know exact something far worse than like, you know, something we've encountered before. So, and it's actually really well built how we have a bunch of characters like constantly being like, there's something happening. Something worse is happening behind the scenes.
The bad news just keeps coming. Dan Heng's gone off on his own and Madame Yao's completely vanished. Can you still sense her?
The bird I entrusted to General Yao Guang has seemingly gone silent. I can't share its vision anymore. I can't even feel her thoughts through it. But I know it hasn't faded. That means she's still in this world somewhere.
Let's pray she returns soon, with some news to pierce through all this fog. Otherwise, this Arcadia built on happiness will crumble fast and fall
They're
into
setting
the
this up
abyss.
so well. And we already know, like, you know, there's the prophecy, there's the divination about what happened with Blade. There's, as what Blade said before, we know the Society of Smiles is building up to something as well. We know that the Star Rail Fest is also building up something as well, that something might happen there that's drawing attention to it from the Herald of Death. We know what's happening with everything happening with the Herald of Death. There's like, and now there's even something here as well where it's like there's something deeper going on here. They are building up so well the idea of something bubbling underneath the surface. So well. And we're back to Stell. Oh yeah, we were paying a visit to the author of the Fluffy.
Blurry QR cult? That's an unusual name.
So they're doing a really good job of building all this terror up as well. They are.
Why would the author of Fluffy Across the Blue have such a pen name?
I wonder. Maybe the author's eyes went blurry after too much drawing. He's a dual-mentioned city horse. Maybe the author's eyes went blurry after too much drawing. We could say, I don't know.
You're taking it a bit too literally. But it's not impossible. Someone who can draw something that cute must have a warm, gentle heart.
That's a very good outlook. It's nice to come back to these two after all the crazy stuff happening. It's like, this is kind of like an emotional center, you know? The sweetness that is between the two of them.
I heard the Fluffy's been running for half a year in a magazine. At first, it wasn't very popular in Plain Arcadia.
Oh, yeah?
But after that memory bubble movie, A Holy Grail Stay Night, old Odie produced, became a massive hit. The Astral Express's adventure stories spread far and wide, and the Fluffy started gaining popularity.
You know what's so crazy? Odie can never ever be someone who is like good in our mind again, right? Like that's one thing like he's done, correct? You know, it's like even if he did produce a movie that like you know created this popularity, it's like he did something that was like near, you know, us ending. You know.
Now the latest chapter, The Sacred Flames Return, Amphorius's creation, is sold out everywhere.
Wow.
This cult sure knows a lot about our journey. Must be a galactic fan of the Express crew.
Another villain, perhaps? We just gained another loyal fan. I think we still deserve royalties. Yes. Yes.
Royalties? Ugh, you're being way too opportunistic. It's a comic where we're the protagonists. Someone's giving us free publicity. Can't you cut them a little slack?
Can I say this right now? For the concept of like these games, yes, it is very beneficial to have that. 110% March is correct. Having that publicity is so good for the benefit of like these Phantasm Moon games. Also though, you're using our likeness. Throw some cash.
According to the address
They're making money
the
off it.
Frolux
Throw some
employee
cash.
gave us, it looks like we've arrived at a familiar place.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're just benefiting us. They're also profiting off of this. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's just a favor. You know? Give us some cash.
For such a small place, Dovebrook District is really full of hidden talents.
I hope March won't be the type of person that like works for a YouTuber and then goes, I got paid in exposure.
Left at the first intersection, then turn right, go straight for 200 meters. Wait, this is the Furbobo Weekly newspaper?
Yeah, I own this place. I'm the CEO.
Oh, don't tell me the author of the Fluffy is actually a Furbo. No wonder he rarely shows his face.
This is literally my building.
Come on, let's go upstairs.
Well, not my building, but you know what I mean. Again, I love seeing all this stuff as well. It's so cool. The artwork is so cute. It is really so cute. But yeah, we're switched back to the cell after everything that's crazy happened as well.
The Fluffy goes puff, puff, puff. Pom-poms for extra fluffy stuff.
Lovely. Lovely stuff, Marge. Thank you so much. Honestly, that boosts everything. That boosts my day. Man, the environment... Nihilux! No freaking way! Oh, that's their boss? No way, they're fighting for money to get payoff her. No. Serves you right. Oh my god, okay, that was actually very stylish. Great landing. You gotta give it to her.
Please come in.
No. You stuck that landing and it was very cool.
Your next line is,
like the landing right like in that position there is the best way you could save it too. But man, they were literally trying to beat her up to get some money. Pay your workers.
Why are you here?
I won't say anything then. No, let's give it.
What's the problem? I'm the magazine's founder, its president, and its editor-in-chief. It's only logical that I'd be sitting here.
Okay, take the Furbo mechanic away from me then.
A million? President Nyla.
I don't remember. Oh, I should have remembered this.
Behind on everyone's wages for months. If it weren't for the money, who'd risk their neck being a tabloid journalist, sneaking photos of the bigwigs on the Astral Express?
Pay your workers. Pay your workers. It finally occurs to you why the name Alex always felt vaguely familiar. The former president of Furbobo Weekly was the deadbeat boss who skipped town to dodge your debts and went by the exact name. Yeah, no. Here's the thing. As much as I think the pronunciation is Nihilux, right?
A million? President Nihilux.
Yeah, we're pronouncing it right. As much as I think she's fantastic and eccentric and all this stuff, do pay your workers. Pay them.
A boss who doesn't pay wages has no right to sit here.
I agree.
They belong in the underworld.
And that's why they prefer us as a editor-in-chief.
Idiots. Without me, you'd all have been locked up in some Department of Aberration Defense painting prison long ago. And you still have the gall to demand wages from your savior.
Again, Nihilux, I love the scene like where you landed on your side, very stylish. I love like your eccentricness. This is I hate this type of argument where it's like, you know, I brought you into this world. You don't deserve nothing. It's like, no. Just because you saved them doesn't mean they don't get paid for their work.
Have you ever heard of the sensational serial thief case, Phantom Furbomorph? It happened in the year 1996 of the Arcadian calendar.
I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Aww.
I shouldn't have talked back. I'm sorry for being born a Furbo.
No, pay Nihilux, pay them.
Beep boop. Even if you've got dirt on us, making us work for free is way too ridiculous.
It is. And Power Prince has done so much for us as well. It's not good. Pay them, Nihilux.
We've had enough. We've overthrown the boss.
Oh.
We've got a new president now.
Oh, I have to.
Please stand up for us.
Please, Stell, stand up for them.
Welcome, Nameless. Furbo Hot Pot requires a reservation. Roomers are 10,000 credits apiece, and if you're looking to hire a hitman, just head right down the hall to the storeroom. Oh, or
No,
maybe...
we gotta stand up for them. We gotta. Again, as a character, I love the introduction of Nihilux, but no.
You came to meet the brilliant, charming, and universally adored blurry QR cult. Well then, truth be told, that person is actually...
We should really be charging royalties. Yes, Stell, yes. But also pay your workers.
Who could it be?
Okay, that's pretty good. You know, like as soon as she finds out she has to pay royalties. March, your moonlighting as a comic bar is behind my back. Cut it out. Let's say cut it out. How about this? Okay, we won't take royalties if you pay your workers.
Once you rule out all the wrong answers, only one truth remains.
That's so funny. As soon as she found out she had to pay royalties. Oh, I don't know who that is.
The only one here who can actually draw is you, Nihilux. Your blurry QR cult.
Oh my god. Actually seeing her nervous is so funny too.
You saw right through me. As a reward for seeing through my disguise, how about an autograph or a photo?
Sorry guys, I'm so hell-bent on getting these Furbos some cash. I don't need any reward, just pay them. I don't care.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Nihilux. You can
Who
also
cares?
call me by my pen name, Blurry QR Cult.
Aw, no wonder you were tagging along back at Perlux Tower, acting like you knew us so well.
They're like
Wait.
they're like someone who like has investigated us, I guess.
This blurry QR cult persona isn't a fake too, is it?
Possibly.
Identity is just a mask and a body. Real or fake, it's all in how you see it.
So, yes or no?
At the very least, for now, there's no other blurry QR cult around who could show up at Star Rail Fest for a live signing and hype up the Astral Express.
Oh yeah, we need her. We need her. What's so interesting about this too as well is that now when you look back at the design with the comic book theme around her outfit, it's like, oh, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense, doesn't it?
So, you already know why we're here.
Yeah, she has eyes and ears everywhere, it seems.
Just a little deduction, that's all. The news about Star Rail Fest is already everywhere online. Knowing how that perfectionist Madame Pearl operates, she's definitely pulling strings to make your collaboration a success. Naturally, having me step in was part of her plan.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think what they're doing so good here with Nihilux is that, like, while she's a character who, like, obviously, like, we can't fully get a grasp on, she's pretending to be somebody else, she's not paying her for bows. But there's also, like, again, as they do all the time with layered characters in this game, they also want to show how she is really good at her job in terms of obtaining information. You know what I mean? They're making sure that they show you, like, she's also, like, able to obtain some stuff yourself. You have to find out this stuff out. She has an eye for this kind of, like, you know, investigative stuff, and, like, also, like, maybe just a good, like, sense in some ways too, like a good, like, I don't want to say journalistic because I don't want to say any tabloids isn't journalism. It's not, right? But I do want to say it's bad journalism. But, like, I do want to say that it's like, you know, maybe she does have a sense for, like, you know, poking and prying and investigations like that.
If that's the case, will you...
Oh?
That said, I'll have to respectfully decline.
With this color coding as well? Don't decline. Come on, help us out. You always royalties.
Not to brag, but Fluffy Across the Blue is ridiculously popular in this world. If tickets weren't limited, the line would wrap around the planet twice and a half.
That would benefit us, I feel like.
That's not a signing event, but a public execution, right?
Oh?
Yeah, that does sound pretty horrifying.
So you have to limit tickets? So when's the next update? So when do I get my new form? You made quite a fortune off her event. I love Stella's constantly like, oh, what about the buddy? Exactly.
So tell me, Miss Nihilux, do you really have the right to
True.
refuse us?
It's true.
You've used the crew's likenesses and adventure experiences without permission. Surely you owe us some form of
I
compensation.
adore that, like, March is so smart, right? Because March was disagreeing with us on this earlier because she's like, we get the exposure, which is good for this planet and Phantoms and Games, but she's like, we need it right now. And again, look at Stella's smug face.
Why are we talking about this all of a sudden?
Because you were declined to do a signing for us, Miss Nihilux.
Today, on behalf of the entire Astral Express crew, for your violation of
Stella.
our publicity rights,
Hell yeah.
emotional damages, and lost
Look at
wages,
March.
I hereby demand
March is so proud.
1.6 billion
Whoa.
credits.
How did you work that out?
March, just go along with it.
Believe it or not, I don't have a single coin on me right now.
Oh, you'll have to do a signing instead.
That's impossible. Just your royalties alone should have made you rich.
Due to, unknown circumstances, my luck with money hasn't been great. But I get what this is really about. You're not only after cash, are you?
We're signing. Do the signing.
I'll show up at Star Rail Fest.
There we go.
Is that good enough?
You have
for
to
you?
appreciate what Stella did here. It was so smart. It was using something that is totally true. Like, again, like, regardless of how much this is helping us, we didn't necessarily need them to make this thing for our lives, right? For the safety of the planet, eventually, we kind of do need the popularity because that's what's giving us maybe the wishes and the wish power. But I'm saying that, like, you could also then say, without this comic book, what is Nihilux? What is her career? You know? They benefited off us as well. We didn't ask for the benefit of that comic book, even though it helped. So it's one of those things where, like, we're asking for a help now with this stuff too. And again, great character writing with Nihilux, the avoidance, the kind of, like, the sneakiness, you know, the always trying to, like, work around, like, our, not accusations, but our pressure.
Then it's settled. Thank you, Colt.
Great job from the gals here. Great job.
That said, I also hope the two of you, as the original inspirations, will take some time to familiarize yourselves with Fluffy Across the Blue before attending the exhibition, so you won't be caught off guard by fans' questions. Time to attend Miss Nilux's class. Please follow me.
Wait, for real? I guess we're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing a workshop for this stuff too. Are you okay, Power Prince? I know these guys are little tabloid guys, but now finding out that their lives were saved and then they're like made work for free for a tabloid newspaper, it changes the context of these guys from being like, oh my god, they're tabloid guys, to being like, thank you so much, Power Prince. I'll cherish that forever. How about you, Ferbilizer, Furley, Julian? Oh, they just pay them. Can I pay them? I'll give them money. They can have all my money. I don't even use it. How much money do I have? How much money do I have? That much. You can have all that. I'll give them half. I'll give them all that. You can have all of that. You can have 804. You can have 8. Wait. Is that? What is that? 8,147,708 Don Hong, honey, we're rich. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Let's leave this place behind. Thank you, Power Prince. Thank you so much.
Miss Nilux's mini class is officially in session. If you have any questions, feel free to ask at any time.
Sure thing. Again, she's such a great character. Like, in terms of, like, just, like, again, her eccentric nature, her avoidance, like, she's really shifty and crafty. She's really funny.
Miss Colt, why did you pick the Astral Express as the theme for your comic?
Well, I'm all about realism, but sadly, my previous works like Acheron's Godslay, Galaxy Ranger Saga, and dozens of others all got cancelled.
An Acheron story got cancelled? What, do the people have taste on this planet, or?
If you hadn't beaten Iron Tomb and boosted its popularity, this one would have been cancelled too. Let's not ask.
I guess that makes perfect sense, because I think like an Acheron comic book would survive in any form, right? Which is, you know, true, right? It would do. But I guess like in terms of like Arcadia, you're talking about you have to gain popularity. You have to gain clicks and likes. And I think that's like, you know, why the boost in popularity before you do anything, it's why they're into more popular stuff rather than like it just being about the art, right? It's about the popularity as well.
Sorry.
All right, pay attention. The cute little critter in the center of the image is Baseball Raccoon, the main character of Fluffy Across the Blue. Just recently, March Bunny and Woof Woof Dawn found her in a trash can.
Oh my god, like the story of them finding us at the start of the game. That's so funny. Why did they say sorry? Let's not ask sad questions? March, you can ask what you want.
At that moment, a terrifying monster is causing havoc on the space station. It tries to spit fire at Baseball Raccoon, but the flames don't burn through the trash can. Instead, it sets the trash on fire, and the stench knocks the monster out.
This is so funny how like it is this kind of like the story of what happened in the first chapter of Honkai Star Rail, but like in a different sense.
Miss Colt, why is she the protagonist?
Oh my god. And Stella with a little smile. Oh.
Readers today value immersion, and a character who has no memory of their past is, of course, the best choice.
We do see that in we do see that a lot in stories where, like, you know, the fish out of water character is usually like very easy to follow because we get to discover things with them, right? That is true. And obviously, like, I think that, like, you know, Honkai Star Rail does a good job of having characters that know a lot of stuff too as well, but like we get to like immerse ourselves in such a great way with Stell, because throughout the whole story when something happens, even though other characters will know, Stell gets to ask what it is without it feeling forced. and it keeps the immersion alive.
I don't know anything about my past either. So why didn't you pick me?
Poor Marge. Marge, you would have been a great protagonist.
Even though Little Raccoon joined the Express the latest, she's left behind so many stories across different worlds that there are even rumors in the Lafu's prison about her beating up alien life forms.
Borson? We did beat up some Borson.
With material this crazy, not making it the main character? I might disagree, but Aha absolutely wouldn't.
Yeah, like, I think it makes sense. Like, to me, like, I think that what always has to be noted is that, yes, Stell is the protagonist of this story, and yes, for True, she is the character that is, like, the unknown variable that is, like, the most important character in terms of, like, the story that we're playing with the controller. But what I always love about the description of Stell is that she's not, like, just some main important character to the entire world. She's what the world needed in that right moment. That's why I always look at it, and that's why she's a protagonist. Whereas, I will say, as we all know, and you guys know too, March, we couldn't have done this without March or Don Hong or anyone. Without them, it wouldn't have succeeded.
Stick to being the baseball raccoon, okay? I don't need special treatment.
You deserve special treatment. You always deserve special treatment.
March, the Fluffy is just a comic. Outside of this, the author and the readers, every character in this world, aren't we all the protagonists of our own lives?
Your life is your own. Get ready. Ready to set me off, mob.
That sounds so passionate, Miss Cold. I totally get it now.
I do love that expression too, that you're the protagonist of your own world. I always like it.
And so, the unruly baseball raccoon, the quiet woof woof Dawn, and the lively March Bunny formed a trio everyone loves.
Actually, I have a question too.
Why are they all small animals? That's a good question, right? Like, why that depiction?
Ever since I got punched in the face by sales numbers, I've grasped a universal truth. In today's world, fluffy, cute animals aren't always a crowd pleaser.
They sell as well. They sell.
Seriously? Even I feel like I can't compete with Pom Pom's cuteness.
Oh, you're way cuter than Pom Pom. No offense to Pom Pom, but oh my god, March. Cuteness overload whenever you do anything.
Designing the senior members of the crew took some work. After defeating the monster, Baseball Raccoon accepted an invitation from the other fluffy animals and boarded the Fluffy.
So that's like the Astrid Express.
Here, the protagonist meets 3 big animals with distinct personalities. First, the adorable and universally loved conductor, Pom Pom.
True.
Beside them is the elegant navigator, Miss Hime-Cat.
Elegant's a good way to describe. Sure.
I know. That's Hime-Cat. Her original inspiration is Himeko. Oh, please don't tell her.
Don't tell her? Awesome. But honestly, like, I think you would describe Himeko as elegant, right? She's a lot more things than just elegant, but...
And the big brown dog on the other side, see? His name will shock you. That's right. He's...
Weltox?
Mr.
Mr.
Yang!
Yang? It's just Mr. Yang?
Just Mr. Yang.
Okay, fair enough.
Your taste in naming is indeed extraordinary.
Anyway, the 6 fluffy little creatures boarded the Fluffy Express and set off on their journey. As for the plot, it's pretty much the same as what you've all experienced, just with a bit of artistic tweaking to suit plain Arcadia's audience.
A bit of artistic tweaking? Yeah, what's a bit? That's the question. What's a bit of artistic tweaking?
A tiny bit.
What's a tiny bit? You mean a lot. You mean it changed the story.
In the comic world, which is even more cutthroat than the Phantasmoon games, if you don't cater to the reader's tastes, it's nearly impossible to survive. Once upon a time, great comic artists had the luxury of 100 chapters to build things up. Now, if you don't hook readers within 100 pages, you're done.
You know what's so crazy? Can I use YouTube as an analogy? YouTube tells you in your stats and everything. And this is something I never adhere to and I never want to adhere to because when I look at it, it just annoys me. And like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. YouTube's trying to help. But they say that in the first 30 seconds, that's what like grabs people, which I always think is so interesting to me because it's like, you know, that's why videos kind of, I don't know, I'm not making fun of anyone's videos. I'm not saying that too, because again, like I also like do an intro on my videos as well, right? Of course. But like, that's why whenever you click on like, you know, a video that's like, you know, today we're going to be doing this thing, you know, I put 20,000 crabs inside a tank with 20,000 alligators. Let's see who wins, right? That type of thing. And they have like, you know, this big explosion of an intro is because like they're told, and it's not, again, it's strategy. What they do there, it's not my type of taste, right? It's not my taste. I'm not trying to insult them and whatever whatsoever, but it is like one of those things where it is, people's, they say that about YouTube as well. For me personally, it's like, you know, like I just do the intro as I always do, and I just play the game. So that's my thought process. I never want to think like, oh, was this first 30 seconds good? Oh my God, I better redo that because the first 30 seconds, man, you know, that'd be so horrible. What a life, you know? I couldn't do it. I understand, like, so again, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm not trying to say like anyone who's doing it is wrong. I'm just saying for me personally, I couldn't play my games like that. I just couldn't. But this is also true for stories sometimes as well. But like, I feel like, you know, I love a good build-up. Like Monster is my favorite anime. I love a good build-up.
Readers today are hard to please, and authors have to come up with ever more shocking and sensational material.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't this remind you of the fantasy
Yeah, like
games?
that whole thing of garnering attention. But it's not only that, but like there's a reason why like in 1994 ER could do 24 episodes per season and people will be hooked because the people follow along with those shorter builds now. And nowadays, like they do 8 episodes because they believe that we're so worried about people losing you know, passion for the series as like they're genuinely worried if it gets to like 15 episodes that people are gonna be like, I don't want to watch anymore because it's too much. Whereas back in the day, I feel like, you know, back in my day, like I'm freaking old, but back in the day, like you'd have like a thing where like you could watch, you know, a season of a show or a drama would have like, sometimes it can be too much, but like you could have 24 episodes because people were hooked, right? People were hooked, but now people move on very quickly from stuff. And you see that all the time when 8 episodes of a show will release on Netflix and then people will talk about it for a day and they'll move on. Grabbing attention needs to happen more often than not, like, and that's why like slower builds can sometimes be a lot more difficult to do. You know what I mean? And I'm not sitting here being like, I'm better than everyone. Like, I love a good build up, you know? And because again, a lot of us do. A lot of us love that. A lot of us do. But it's like in terms of like the wider audience, they're always trying to grab people's attention. And again, it sounds like I'm being pretentious, being like, the wider audience loves, you know, just having their attention grabbed in shorter episodes and they have a shorter attention span. I'm just saying that like what like has been revealed sometimes when it comes to like marketing studies and stuff like that as well. That people now make shorter shows because they want to make sure, first of all, shows can get bigger in terms of budget, but they also want to make sure they're grabbing people's attention more as well. Which is a shame in my view, because shows can still be amazing nowadays, but then also you'll get 8 episodes every 3 years when before we were getting 24, like, you know, really well crafted, well built episodes. And because they could slower build stuff, the budget was smaller and everything was like, you know, they could have like a whole episode where like half the sequences were like in a house talking to someone, and it was a gripping scene. But nowadays they feel like they can't do that as much, even though some shows still do. Sorry for going off on tangent here, but like it's just something I always think about a lot, you know, as I'm watching ER for the first time. It's so good.
Looks like you're all
Sorry for
familiar
going
with
off
the
on,
characters from the
well, I'm
Fluffy.
not sorry, but
Now, let me talk about some of the creative challenges I'm facing.
Roma, I apologize for a tangent. You do that once per minute. Yeah, I'll get you some money, guys, okay? But yeah, really interesting stuff as well. And I like that they're like, you know, the Plan Arcadia stuff is like very like, you know, about attention. They're related to the idea of like grabbing people's attention. But as I said, like just in anything in HSR, they always relate to real life stuff as well. Whether it be like, you know, grabbing people's attention, or how like, you know, Netflix has legitimately like, you know, admitted that they try to like make shows that like, you know, grab people in the first like few episodes and all this stuff as well. And they want to keep people, you know, subscribed and all these different things, right? And then also the stuff with like, say, the VTubers and parasocialism. Like they've done a really good job of like really expressing like a modern worldview in, thank you, Power Prince, in this game. Like I think they've done a really good job of this. But they always reflect real world stuff really well in this game.
What do you see on the fluffy stands?
Cuteness.
It's her turned into a cute little animal.
And you over there as well. A pirated version of me.
Yes, this is the character, and you're the inspiration behind her.
Thank you.
But even for someone as interesting as you, there are many backstories that readers don't care about, don't want to know, or don't feel obliged to understand. A comic artist's job is to capture the most interesting parts and present them to the readers.
Yeah, again, she's talking about just like, again, it's Planet Arcadia.
The cute and clever one is March Bunny. The unruly but reliable one is Baseball Raccoon.
Yeah, Gremlin.
This is what we call a concrete archetype paired with an abstract character.
So the cute, by the way, cute and clever for March. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And the abstract side of a character will only be further simplified in the eyes of the readers.
Can you talk about it as a trio though? Don Hung as well? Well, it's not her fault. I mean, Don Hung's not allowed to be, like, the trio's not allowed to be a thing past Balebog.
So, how do you think the readers across the universe view you nameless?
Passerbys, bullies, and heroes? Passerby is an interesting answer, but I think that they would, like, I think a lot of them do see you as, like, helpful people.
Don't underestimate your influence. Your heroic deeds and accomplishments drew my attention, and your demeanor gave me inspiration for the character in the Fluffy. But while the hero identity boosts the character's popularity, it also becomes a limitation. That's why the little animals in the Fluffy have to defeat even more powerful villains and keep upping the ante to get more applause from the audience.
This is, again, it's what happens in a lot of, like, you know, stories as well. Like, it's you know, the next villain that comes along, the next arc in an anime. Like, it happens, you know?
In turn, the reader's perceptions and expectations constrain the character's growth. If she acts out of line, the popularity will crash.
Interesting. So if she's not being her character or not, like, not living up to expectations, that's so interesting, isn't it? Because again, we also see that too with the cultures online. If a character, like, doesn't live up to their theories of who they are as well, they will get angry sometimes.
If she can't come up with new ideas or grow stronger, the audience will soon lose interest in the comic. Unfortunately, the creation of Fluffy Across the Blue is now stuck at this very awkward bottleneck.
Because there's no new things to fight?
Honestly, after drawing comics for so long, I've pretty much run out of ideas.
Oh, okay.
Hundreds of amber eras ago, people would laugh out loud just from seeing a cat do a backflip.
So it's talking about how, like, you keep having to up into ante and do something more crazy the next time, a bigger villain, a bigger story to keep people interested.
Now, to get the same kind of enthusiastic reaction, you'd probably need to have that cat fight a Mechatron in a one-on-one showdown in Perlux Tower.
Makes so much sense. It makes so much sense what you're saying. You're like, again, it's not like I'm sitting here being like, yeah, cool, that's a great way to write a story, but, like, it is, like, again, up in the ante. And I see this with wrestling, right? Like, where, like, a dude will, like, when you jump off a ladder through 4 tables as a wrestling move, right? Then the next time you do it, it's gonna be still pretty cool. But if you do it 4 times in a row, people can be like, oh, I've seen this before. You keep having to up everything. That's why, like, you have to do things, like, sparingly. That's why, like, you know, it's hard to, like, write a full story and keep going, like, and still make everything fresh.
Although the Fluffy specials are selling like crazy, doing side stories without progressing the main plot isn't a long-term solution.
True.
Ever since all the gossip memo keepers I hired got wiped out in Amphorius, my source of intel's been drying up fast.
Wait, they died?
But if someone from the Astral Express could quietly feed me a few juicy insider secrets from the Phantasmoon games, imagine the reader's reaction when the next chapter drops.
And I guess, in a way, it keeps that attention on us, right?
Whoa! Does Blurry QR Code have a time machine or what? Oh, that'd totally save the Fluffy's future sales. After all, my little Furbo crew already works for you. Just have them slip me a copy of the Phantasmoon Games press release. Let's call it buying your exclusive adaptation rights.
So it's literally like we, in this kind of like, it seems kind of shady, we're just handing her information.
We'll do a 50-50 split.
What do you think, guys? I have to think about it.
What about a 30-70 split?
In what favor, though?
Deal.
Okay. Hell yes, Stell. Oh, that's awesome.
70 for me, 30 for you.
No!
Wow, you change your face faster than Sparkle.
That's not how this is gonna work. You're giving us this. You're giving us the 70. She did say it right. Yeah, no, you're getting the 30. Sorry.
All right. Since we've got the profit split sorted, looks like my creative block won't last much longer. Just wait for my appearance at Star Rail Fest. Star Rail Fest, a grand event that gathers millions of eyes and an inordinate amount of wish power. And under all that attention, the dark forces coveting the Master of Elation's blessing are bound to surface.
Yeah.
Heroes and devils dancing together in plain Arcadia. Tell me, is there a better source of inspiration than that?
I mean, again, like if you're looking for like real world things to write your stuff in, then yeah, that works, doesn't it?
My hero, don't let us down.
It's not. Graphia.
A supplicant is
Himiko,
the master
Himiko.
of wish power.
Oh my god.
But wish power can also become the shackles that bind the supplicant, forcing them to fulfill its desires.
I mean, this is like ultra interesting as well because like every single scene that we've had here, there's not been like, and even like you could say, well, like that scene there with like, you know, Nihilux was just more of a fun scene, but I feel like you know, Planet Arcadia is doing like this thing where like, and to me like it's happened before in Honkai Star Rail as well in different acts, where it's like almost like every like single scene is like must see, have to see, right? You have to, right?
Love and hatred are alike. Dependence resembles fear. What commands wish power isn't only love, but also hatred.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see where this conversation is going to go with her father as well.
Thank you. These notes will really be a big help to her.
So should we screenshot this? Yeah. So a supplicant is the master of the wish power, but the wish power can also become shackles that bind the supplicant, forcing them to fulfill his desires. So like you have to fulfill whatever the wish want for you. Love and hatred are alike. Dependence resembles fear. Walking on wish power isn't only love, but also hatred. Yeah, so we talk about fear also can power it as well. Hatred can also power it as well. And in this sense, it sounds like what even Nihilux was saying is like, you know, people like think that you're funneled into one type of situation, so they expect that from you almost as well.
Good. I'm so glad to be of help. For generations, many members of our family have attempted to enter the Phantasmoon Games.
His voice is so cool.
To rely on the Aeon's immense power to lift the curse afflicting the Graphia bloodline. Some came close to the mask, but could only watch as history passed them by. Others wore it, only to fail in the end.
So it was like the people who entered the they want just to make sure, like, again, because like it's one of those things where like I want to make sure, yeah, it's like he was talking about a curse that the family had, which is probably the same thing that Himiko had. Maybe some people wore it but then failed.
That was until 400 years ago, when your great-great-grandfather Hero won the Phantasmoon Games.
He won.
And successfully gained an audience with Aha.
Very cool.
But the family's curse was not broken. In his notes he wrote, "Just as the god of destruction cannot cradle a bouquet, so too is the god of elation powerless against a curse. Such is the cycle of cause and effect."
So Aha's powers couldn't do anything for the curse?
Father, are you wondering what it was that healed me?
Yes, yeah. And it's interesting, it's well, because he's talking about like you know, the weathering curse, wasn't it? The fact that he like that 400 years ago someone tried to do this. The family was trying to do this constantly. Then 400 years ago, Hiro did win the Phantasm Games, but he wasn't even able to do it. Like, it's like he is bringing it up in kind of an expectant way of like wondering like, how did you do it?
I know you're keeping
something. Which is an interesting question, right?
But I don't care what cured you 15 years ago. As long as you're alive, I can wait until the day you're ready to tell me.
Great answer. Great answer. And that's what probably Himiko needs to hear when she's talking about her dad right now, who like wasn't there for a long period of time for her, to be like, you know, hey, it's not about what happened. Because like because I was with Himiko there, I thought he was like asking like how it happened. Maybe he was curious, but no, he's like, look, I can wait. As long as you're happy, as long as you're healthy, that's the best thing that could happen here. And especially since he was someone who spent like a lot of his life with Himiko, away from Himiko, trying to find a cure for Himiko. That I imagine that, like, you know, whilst there is a feeling of like how did it happen, there's also a feeling of relief, like something that you weren't able to do actually happened.
Still, as a father, there are things I must say, even if you don't want to hear them.
What's that?
As an artist, I'm fascinated by fleeting lives. How they struggle, they suffer, and in doing so, reveal a brilliance worthy of time's memory.
So fascinated by like a smaller life. Yes, okay.
As a father, I can't stand by and watch my daughter walk into tragedy. I bless you to be a hero, to welcome the same end as Akiviri. Those are words I could never speak.
So he's worried that she's heading towards something destructive?
The road ahead is shrouded by uncertainty. And that's why someone must take the first step. To trailblaze a path others can follow.
And that's the thing when it comes to this stuff as well. It's like you understand, and that's why I always say, like, as we look at this from a very like nuanced perspective, if we can, from the perspective of Himiko's dad. I don't want my daughter to get hurt. I've just gotten her back. She's cured from all the stuff that's happened here. The last thing I want is for her to get hurt again, right? But from Himiko's perspective, this is what we respect so much about the Trailblazers and Himiko. This will be dangerous. It's uncertain. What could happen on this journey? But who else is going to be the one to take the first step? It has to be us, you know? And that's something as well, like, yeah, would I love if all the Astro Express could just, like, sit with me and be cushy, watch some movies? Yeah, I'd love if that was their life. They just watch movies for the rest of their lives, have fun together, eat some food. I'd love it. But that's not what it is, and that's not why we fell in love with them, right? You know? We fell in love with them for the personalities, but also because of, like, what the stuff they do for this world.
I can't stop you, even though every part of me wishes you'd stay. But this is your choice.
This is good.
My daughter's choice. All I can do is stand by you quietly and pray you'll come back safely.
This is very good. This is very good from Ryosuke here. He's saying all the right things. I'm not saying, again, it's one of those things where, like, you understand his position of, like, I don't want... Because again, here's the thing. This isn't... To us, Himiko is the strongest figure in the world. She is our... Again, they use the word elegant here. She's our elegant leader who we can turn to for any problem whatsoever. That's her. That's our Himiko, right? What he sees is his little girl that's grown up to being one of the strongest people he could ever know. You have to understand from his perspective that it's hard to obviously let that go, while at the same time too, he understands that he does have to let her live her life too. It's actually really well done what they're doing here. And I think it's actually very beautiful and like honest and very open as well.
Do you still remember the bedtime story I used to tell? They say there was once a princess in the sky. Day and night she painted in her celestial garden, untouched by the joys and sorrows of the mortal world. One night, a thunderous sound echoed from her painting. Curious, she stepped inside. Through seas of flowers, across mountains, until she reached the world's edge.
Crazy cool idea for a story.
there stood an ancient tower.
Oh, why are they highlighting that?
So tall, it pierced the heavens. So vast, it seemed to hold the universe itself.
Climbing the endless staircase, the princess reached the summit. And from there, she saw the world beyond her garden. In the distance, she heard cries, the voices of people burning in raging fire.
That's so cool that they had Himiko be the one to finish the story as well. Really, really good idea.
From that tower of infinity, descended Graphia to walk the mortal realm. With a single stroke of her brush, she brought forth 1,000 Imaginae, turning the tide against destruction.
This is really, again, it shows how like this stuck with her. And this is again shows how what you give to your children when they grow up is what they will keep with them. This story is stuck with her.
To go where there are cries, to go where there are flames. That is the origin of our family name, Murata.
Murata, that's the family name? Himiko Murata?
But beyond the family name, my interpretation of our ancestor's name, Graphia, is also the hope I place in you.
I want to screenshot this stuff as well just to have it here too, because it seems like it is like an analogy for maybe like, you know, Himiko like, you know, blazing her path forward. And even like the line here is to go where there are cries, to go where there are flames. It seems very Himiko. That's very Himiko.
Himiko, whatever choice you make, if this is truly what you want, then go. Use those steps blazed upon trails to paint the world as you see it.
Thank you,
yeah,
Dad.
The right answers. The right answers. He's doing a fantastic job here. Really fantastic stuff from Ryosuke here.
By the way, how's your health? You haven't picked up any bad habits
That's
like
very sweet.
Smoking or drinking while I was away.
Because what happened here was the wall has broken down a bit more as well, right? Because she wanted the wall to break down. Of course, it's her dad, right? And like I said, last episode, I wasn't babying Himiko. I was just always like looking out for her. I asked her if she wants to talk to him. If she said she wasn't ready, she wasn't ready. But it's very clear that she wants to talk to her dad, but she's worried about the meeting in the middle part of like how the interaction is going to go. And I think that's like, you know, you see here as now that she's realized he's not trying to stop her. He's not trying to say that she's wrong for doing what she's doing. He's not trying to be this like ultimate dad making up for lost time in a way that's like very suffocating. He is showing his care while also saying that you have to carve your own path. And Himiko is like taking ease here to the point that she's like, I'm going to ask him how he's doing.
As the Dean of Graphia Academy, I still have to set a good example for my students. It's just, my tendinitis keeps acting up. My herniated disc is getting worse. Himiko, how long will you be staying?
He says her name in such a beautiful way, right? And that often happens too, right? A lot of times, like, you'll hear parents call the person you've already known, like, by a similar pronunciation, but it's, like, slightly different, you know?
At least until the lunar cycle shifts. I'll stay here in plain Arcadia until then.
So until the end of the games?
I see. If only the Phantom Moon could stay full forever.
You know what's so painful about the two? It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. This is one of those times where you wish for this to last forever, the Phantasm Moon games to last forever, for the moon to be full forever. Even though there's horrible things that have happened, and this is a herald of death, like in more ways than one, in not literal sense and like a spiritual sense. As a father, he wishes to spend more time. But as I said, it's not suffocating. It doesn't feel suffocating. It doesn't feel like he's like, please stay, please, don't leave me. Don't leave your old dad. He's being very honest. I want to spend more time with you, and I wish this could last forever.
Himiko, safe travels.
Very beautiful. He said all the right things. He said all the correct things. Very, very happy with Ryosuke here. Very happy. He said all the correct things. He gave her agency while also still knowing that she is loved, and that's as simple a way to put it. Giving Himiko agency, telling her she's loved. showing that she's loved, agency.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
It's your
Foolish
life,
TV's
but I love you.
special news segment,
I wish you could say, but I understand you have to go.
I'm
Easy.
your host, Poofy.
Well done. It's not easy though. It's not easy as a dad to do that. But I'm saying, Ryosuke, all the right things. Very good stuff. He didn't make her feel guilty for leaving. He didn't make her feel guilty. Now you could say with him being like, "I wish it could last forever." That's just emotional stuff you say. Like if your daughter went to live in a different country, like the dad's not going to be like, "Oh well, pack your bags." They're going to be like, "Man, when you leave it Sunday, I wish this week could last forever." And you can see it as like, it's not emotionally like manipulative or anything or suffocating. It's like just the truth, and it's very honest, and like in a way it shows that you are loved, right? I don't know. I think he said all the right things.
Hi everyone, I'm your host, Snowy! The Star Rail Fest exhibition venue funded by Perlux Corp and constructed by Turbogen Heavy Industries has officially been completed!
Thanks to modern imagenesis technology, it took only a day for the Skyline's lookout cloud to take on a completely new look.
Wow.
Starting today, the lookout cloud line is officially opening up its stop for the Star Rail Fest exhibition areas. The exhibition areas opening on day 1 include the Bellabog area, Sanjolafu area, and Pinacone area, showcasing the legendary
That's so
adventures
sick.
of the Astral Express.
That's so sick.
Aquarius area, which is currently under construction, will open in due course.
I hope it looks cool. I hope it looks really, really cool. I really do.
For this event, Perlux cordially invites several crew members of the Astral Express to visit and be interviewed, including the Trailblazer, who recently joined the Phantom Moon Games as a supplicant.
Love yourself.
That is certainly something to look forward to. I heard Perlux has also invited Blurry QR Cult, the author of Fluffy Across the Blue, for a signing session. It'll be the first time the author reveals their true face in public.
It's a good like transitionary thing, right?
Gather wish power. Now that's an interesting scheme. Leave it to Pearl to come up with such a bizarre idea.
Like I feel like it calms us down a bit before we go into the next parts. Well, that is Perlux forte.
Perlux excels at creating dreams for both children and adults. And the Astral Express is exactly the kind of otherworldly dream that fascinates the people of this world.
Yep. As I said, like as well, like yeah, I know like Nihilix was the one saying it to us as well, but like, you know, when things become real, it's way easier to believe in them, of course. The Daybreak Squadron being out and about, like it makes people believe in them more. The Astral Express being here makes people believe in them more.
Sometimes I wonder if Jade invited us here with the intention of giving her colleagues a winning edge in the Phantom Moon
Possibly.
games.
The IPC is always crafting, and especially Jade. She's like the one I trust the least out of the IPC.
For Pearl, this Ionic game is probably also a good opportunity to observe and study the way we operate.
Man, there's so many different things, and I love that they're figuring this out as well. Like, you know, and again, they've never been like blind to like, you know, this type of stuff here. Like, I think a lot of times like we know they have to like work, you know, with the IPC. They have to. Like, again, they are legitimately, you know, they are the economy, right? They are a big force in this world. But I love that they also like are always like very aware of like, you know, the impact that the IPC have, what the IPC is up to, what they could want from us.
Though, compared to our usual opponents, this Intellitron executive is a surprisingly rational decision maker. Her proposal for cooperation seems more trustworthy than most.
Beneficial, at least.
It's not rationality that concerns me. It's the irrational factors.
You mean the new Herald of Death?
Exactly. News of the Dovebrook bloodbath has already blown up online. The Department of Aberration Defense tried to clamp down on the rumors, but plenty of people are still linking it to the Herald of Death from 15 years ago.
Right.
With such a large crowd gathering there, this exhibition could very well become a target for the new Herald of Death.
I genuinely think that's the intention of Pearl. Like, I do. And then now also we have Ashvale hoping that maybe it draws someone out. We also have like the idea of like Blade knowing there's something darker going in here as well. Sunday knows there's, and maybe not that's not totally ready to the Herald of Death, but like there is people that like see a benefit, Nihilux as well, everyone, they see a benefit to this event of drawing this thing out here.
Pearl must have contingency plans for situations like this, right?
You'd hope. Maybe we're the ace up the sleeve? It could be the detective who passed by. We know it is, technically, right?
That old guy? No way.
Whatever Pearl has planned, we must consider the possibility that the Herald of Death might attack the venue.
Yes.
We won't just be there to showcase the Astral Express to the people of this world. We'll also need to stay on high alert for any suspicious activity.
Because I thought this too, like, you know, like we're gonna have to protect people here as well. It's a terrifying prospect, like having that much people there anyway, you know?
It's about time. You should get going.
Justice, aren't you coming with us, Mr. Yang?
Someone's got to stay behind on the express to keep the conductor company and be ready for any emergencies that pop up.
I believe in March and Stell. I do.
You guys have fun out there, but stay safe. Contact me right away if anything comes up.
What about Don Hung and Sunday? Is Don Hung going to be with us? Or is it going to be a thing where the trio is never going to be together? Is that what's going to happen? Sorry.
They're both out on a mission with General Yao Guang.
Sure.
Don Hung is tracking Blade's whereabouts, while Sunday is working with Miss Ting Yun. Both of them are tied up. Looks like they won't be able to make it to the exhibition this time.
I'm gonna say this right now. I would never ever be rude to Himiko, but like I was more like being like kind of like flippant with like the idea that the trio's not gonna be together. But since Himiko was speaking, it was directed at her by accident, and I apologize about that. I would never be rude to Himiko. I apologize, Himiko. Never ever ever would I do that. Second of all, it's kind of this trade-off where it's like, yeah, I don't get the trio, but like the freaking Don Hung Blade stuff is so sick. So it's like, you know, it's like, oh, sorry, sir, we don't have your chocolate fudge cake that you like to order every week. Oh, that sucks. But we do have this beautiful opera cake. Oh. Okay. we can't give you the trio right now, but what about Don Hung and Blade? Okay. I won't say no. You know? Let's get going then.
Looks like the heavy burden of documenting our travels falls on yours truly once again.
The ace.
I'll make sure to snap tons of pics so I can tell you guys all about the exhibition when we get back. Star Rail Fest, here we come.
The absolute ace of everything, March herself. Perfect. Actually, I was gonna say we're gonna end the video at some point here in the future.
I like this coat.
Everyone's kind of getting ready for Star Rail Fest as well. Probably, yeah, a good place to end this video as well. I think you know, it's one of those things where like I'm very like, I'm not, as you guys know, I don't rush anything. I do not rush anything whatsoever. I also think that like, and this isn't again, I always have to say this because I never want to ever be that person that's like, nah, this good, Amphorius bad. I loved Amphorius. I made a tribute video about Amphorius because I freaking adored that place so freaking much. But I do think that the pacing's different. It's not about being better or worse. I could handle Amphorius because I was taking breaks whenever. But I feel like there's like so many like built-in natural breaks to this. Whereas with Amphorius, I would have to take a break, like, you know, the world would be ending and I'd have to take a break like right before that. You know what I mean? Not because again, I ever felt bad about that. I was like, I'm taking breaks. I'm taking my time and I loved Amphorius. But I feel like what Planet Arcadia does really well is like there'll be a constant thing of like, okay, here's this scene, this scene, this scene, this scene, this scene. Do you want some tea? Sure. Remember that scene? Do you want some tea? I think they were like intentionally doing that to be like, hey, take a little bit of a break if you need to. Or now it's like, okay, let's get going, everyone. It's like the setup for the next scene. It's all done in a way that's like really, really like well done, I think, as well. But obviously, like with Amphorius, but obviously that could change in the future. And again, Amphorius was going for something different, and that's the thing. And again, as I said, I'm never going to be that guy that like badmouths Amphorius because I freaking love that place, man. I still think about it all the time. It's crazy. Amphorius, can I say Amphorius doesn't feel real? Did you ever get that feeling with Amphorius? That like when I think about it, I'm like, that was like that felt like almost like a 5-month like fever dream. It's crazy when you think back. Like I have such a connection to plays, but like sometimes when I think about it, it's like, how did our characters go through that? I'm like, how did we even like survive like a portion of that? Yeah, so this is once again just like one of the things I love about Planet Arcadia. I think Planet Arcadia actually to me is one of my favorite like regions so far just in terms of story and characters. And one of the best things about it is we have it here with all the different like stories happening beneath everything. That's kind of dark, but it's still very funny and charming. So it has like all those things like coupled together. It doesn't feel like anything is like, overpowering or things. It doesn't feel like the comedy is ruining anything. Like there's comedy aspects. It doesn't feel like it ruins anything. It doesn't feel like the darker stuff is so dark to the point that like it's like oppressive and it's not fun to play. Like everything about this is like so well balanced when it comes to all the aspects of this game. You could be horrified 1 second and still be chuckling. And again, you could say that's Honkai Star Rail, and I do think that's an element too, right? Honkai Star Rail's always been very good at it, but I think they've perfected it in Planet Arcadia. Whereas, like, say, as we were in Balebog, we're talking about the suffering of people underground. It's a horrible thing that you take seriously. But then the next second, March might say something really charming that you're laughing at. And it's like, yeah, it's Honkai Star Rail's strength, but I think that they've really ramped up their strength to the point here where it's like, we had a scene there with, like, Don Hong and Blade where tension, talking about, like, world-ending stuff, but I was laughing and swooning at the same time, too, like, and nothing felt like it was overpowering anything. It was really, really great stuff. And that's why I think, calling in maybe sometimes a dark comedy is like a really good way of like putting it as well. I adored a lot of the happenings in this too. As I said, a lot of Planet Arcadia scenes are just like must-see scenes. There's no scene here where you can like, they're all like heavy in their own way and personal in their own way, or they're like a really great like, characterization, which again is Honkai Star Rail. Like, but I think Planet Arcadia is like, doing it bit, scene by scene by scene by scene by scene. And like, for example, you talk about the one that like, the stuff with Nilux, us setting up this meeting with Nilux so we can get her to come to the signing. Like, you have such a great characterization of Nilux there, having a character who's very avoidant when it comes to talking about like maybe like paying us royalties, a character who like very fervently like, is someone who like will not pay her own workers and will try to avoid that by any means necessary. But she's also like very stylish and eccentric. She's very forward and she's very like fun to be around. And in that whole scene there, we got to like see this like build up to like Star Rail Fest, which is having basically Nilux agree to be that person who will sign at the event to bring in more eyes and bring in more people to watch what's happening. And like it works really well as like a realistic portrayal of stuff, like when she's talking about storytelling and getting to connect this stuff with aha of like drawing attention to stuff, while also still giving us like a really good like funny characterization. Like it adds to the story of like Planet Arcadia and makes sense within the world of Planet Arcadia, as I said, with attention and clicks and all this stuff too, while also giving us a funny characterization. The stuff with Sunday and Ting Young, so good together. And then also just like, it's so simple, it's just a small scene, but like it emphasizes once again that something darker is happening here. The fact that Sunday can like pick up on this stuff and he's like, something darker is happening. Something scary is happening. It sets an omen here, and this whole world has been about like some like, because we did prophecies in Amphoris too. We did tensions in Balebog, and we did like regret and historical fear in Xian Shou. We did hidden lurking evils also in Penacony as well, right? But it's how you do them, right? Like in Penacony, it was like this kind of thing where like there was this like murky muckiness under the beauty, and Amphoris it was like this ticking clock of like everyone like constantly dying and leaving us, and it was all this stuff as well. I feel like Planet Arcadia, the way they're doing this is like using the omens and the characters to show that they all are pretty much like aware that like on some level something scary is always bubbling and about to happen. Now, already we've had like a lot of deaths here, but it's like all this thing, it's like not even a prophecy. It's almost like a feeling that everyone has as well, where everyone like feels along with the divination of like, man, like there's a bomb somewhere and we don't know what's going to happen when it goes off. Like, it's a really interesting feeling. And you saw that with Sunday as well. The stuff with Ashvale is also fantastic too. Ashvale meeting up with Cinder, is Cinderborn, right? Cinderborn? I always get his name wrong. I always just call him Cinder. But like one of the Daybreak squadron. It's one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the game, because you realize just how, they obtain like the hearts of vulnerable people. You see Ashvale talking to Cinder, and how Cinder has gone through something so horrific in his life as what happened as he went through the Bloodstained Games and survived. What happened in the Bloodstained Games when his family, his parents died in the Bloodstained. It's not, by the way, they weren't in the Bloodstained Games. I'm saying the happenings of that 15 years ago, and the trauma that he's carried with him. And that's what I always say in this game, when we saw all those people like, demented, laughing through this pain, We saw, you know, how determined Cinder was to, like, you know, accept Full Wish into his life. We saw all these things. And it would be so easy to be like, these guys are idiots. What the hell? But then that diminishes the effect that emotional manipulation can have on, like, a vulnerable person. We talk about this in other games too. Oftentimes in communities around video games and stories, they will try to, like, put, like, so much heaviness on, like, the actions of, like, an individual that has been manipulated or been tortured mentally, to the point that, like, they make the villain that is, like, organizing everything seem very soft, right? You know? But what's happening here, as you said, it is the vulnerabilities of people who have lost so much, the people who have gone through so much trauma and don't want to feel that feeling again. That vulnerability is preyed upon to the point that they are then, in this case, emotionally distorted, but then medically distorted with that injection they set in the eyelids that makes them undergo a transformation to feel nothing but, like, happiness amongst all the pain that they would usually feel. And I love the way that Ashvale interacted with Cinder here, because Ashvale is someone who we now realize is not someone who is... He's not just bumbling. He's not just funny. When he needs to be serious, he's serious. In this case, it's about his friends as well. It's about the bloodstained games that he would, you know, witness as well. He is able to look at Cinder and say the exact truth to him, and it's harsh, it's hurtful, it's not easy to face. But the people who do go through pain discover ways, hopefully, to get out of it. And again, you're not strong because of your pain, you're strong despite your pain. I always have to say that, because I feel like I always hate the notion of, like, you have to suffer in life. It's like, no one has to suffer, but people do, who come out the other end, are stronger despite their suffering. Because I really hate that, like, you know, there'll be characters in TV shows that, like, go through something unbelievably horrific that no one should ever go through, and then they go, I'm stronger for it. And it's like, no, you're stronger in spite of what happened. What happened, you should not have happened, and you became strong despite what happened. Right? Because you shouldn't go through suffering. But in this case, it's one of those things, situations. That's what Ashville is saying. It's like you know, on the other end of this, you figure out how to get out of this. You become this. You gain this true strength, and the people who are pacifying their pain in a way. And I'm not, again, as I said, we're not talking about people that take, like, a pill or medicine or whatever to make themselves feel better, regulate their emotions. That's not what I'm talking about whatsoever. I'm talking about the idea of, like, you know, masking your pain to the point you never feel it again and never feel anything again but happiness. You have destroyed an avenue for getting better and for getting stronger. And someone might say, and again, it's an argument that people have used before with me as well, well, it's people's choice, and that's what Kochiba was saying as well. But the problem is, and here is the issue, right? And I said this the same thing, and my views are different because it's a different situation than what happened in Pentagon. I want to make that perfectly clear. It is a different situation, though the same argument is applied. When people say, well, if it's someone's choice, they should get to choose it. And here's the thing. Like I said on Pentagony, if it was a situation where, like, one person wanted to, like, go into, who was on their deathbed, wanted to live forever in that world, it's like, okay, you wouldn't judge them. Just like in this sense, when someone wants to take that injection, I'm not sitting here judging them. But I can still frown upon the idea of giving this type of hand to vulnerable people because you know they're vulnerable. There's a difference between, I feel like sometimes too, where it's like someone on their deathbed and being like, you want to live in this magical world forever. It's like they were going to die. And someone who, like, has gone through something so traumatic that their worldview is so destroyed and their mental health is dead. I don't say dead, that's a horrible way to put it, but you know, I'm trying to use a proper phrasing here, but that they pick them up and use them for that purpose. Because here's the truth, right? And I want to make this perfectly clear here. Intention does not really matter when it comes to, like, taking over people or taking people's agency away. And, you know, for me, it's one of those situations where, like, when I look at it from this perspective where it's like, Sunday genuinely thought he was helping people. I do not think Full Wish thinks she's helping people, right? Sunday realized he was wrong. Will Full Wish realize? But the problem is, the difference as well is that Full Wish actually enacted it. If Sunday actually ended up doing all this stuff where, you know, everyone was pacified, everyone was in this world. I know that there was, like, some stuff when he won the first time. I was saying, like, everyone, like, mind was gone and we couldn't help them that would be a different story of redemption, right? Because then it's like, oh my God, you have to like come back from this, you know? I hope like people don't see me putting Sunday in the same boat as Full Wish by saying like, you know, like they're both like the same morality. I'm just saying like, you know, all possible avenues of like, you know, anyone who wants to bring up the discussion, it's okay to bring up the discussion. But the way I look at it as well also is that like Full Wish is 100% doing it because people are vulnerable and using that vulnerability. Whereas Sunday looked at it as like, I'm helping people because I believe this is the best thing like for them, because I don't want people to be hurt again after what happened to my sister. Now you could say as well with Full Wish, she also went through something so traumatic that maybe she doesn't want people to feel that pain as well. Again, there's all these arguments. What I'm trying to say is, I don't agree with the pacification of people. I never did. I never have. And especially when it comes to vulnerable people and this whole stuff with injection and medicine stuff and all the medical stuff, I don't agree with it. I've always stayed consistent with that and I always will. But I think it's good to talk about the possible avenues here as well, and like intent obviously as well, and talk about like all those things in between, because it's the conversation that's being had, right? It is definitely a conversation being had here as well. And I think as well, like, you know, like Asheville also saying that like when I faced you now, I beat the living crap out of all of you guys and I beat you all. I am not the Herald of Death. The Herald of Death will kill you. And he said it he didn't say it like in those direct words, but he said like, the Herald of Death won't stop after they beat the living crap out of you and say, is this enough? They will just kill you. You're dead. Asheville being so direct with the Cinder here. So direct. To make him understand that like this is not the path, it's not going to help you, it's not going to make you grow, it's not going to make you a better person, it's not going to make you a hero, because Cinder's already a hero. The fact that he, through all this trauma, he still wanted to help people. That's already a heroic thought, and that's already the energy he needs to be a hero. But I love that Asheville said that. On any other day, you fighting me, and if I wanted to kill you, you are dead. And that's what the Herald of Death would do too. Stay out of this. Stay out of it. Yeah, and yeah, to put a bow in that, I think it's an incredible scene, and Asheville's an incredible character. And as I also said as well, like I don't think that the Sunday scene and the Full Wish thing is exactly the same thing whatsoever. But I think, you know, as I said, I want to go all possible avenues and like talk about my own opinion, and maybe, you know, talk about what critiques could be thrown at my own opinion when it comes to the taking away people's agency and stuff, because as well, or and obviously the difference is as well, like bringing someone into a dream world, you still get to be like yourself, whereas this, they've taken away them. They're gone. These aren't real people anymore. They're gone. So yeah, I've always stayed consistent on my feeling of pacifying people. It's been the same since any game, not just this game. I've said about other games too. Always been the same feeling there as well. But holy crap, I think it's just, you know, so horrible to just the vulnerable people. It really is. And you guys also know that like I'm a big supporter of Sunday's redemption, a big supporter of it, 100% and 10%. But yeah, like amazing scene with Asheville, amazing stuff with Kachiba as well. They're turning her back to the stuff as well. It was really, really interesting. We had probably like, to me, one of the best scenes in the entirety of this whole game. And actually I might save it after I talk about this really quickly. I'll talk about the Himiko and that stuff, because we already talked about already, and I talked about everything I need to talk about that, of course, as well. Just really well done. Ryusuke, that's all I'll say. That's all I gotta say. Ryusuke, you did an amazing job there, and it showed that you actually do care. It showed that you actually were thinking about Himiko. And again, it wouldn't have been a poorly written scene if all of a sudden Ryusuke, you know, was like, got his ears and was like, please, Himiko, don't do this to your dad, please. Because again, that's still a character. That's still a written character that would have been like, it would have been a manipulative scene. It would have been horrible. But it would have been still well written, because that's what some characters are. That would just change his character completely. But I think what they went with was showing that like he does care. And sometimes to care about someone, you also have to like give them agency, because it's difficult in his mind to come to terms with that. This is my little girl that was sick at the time that I tried to help so much, and she helped herself in the end somehow. Even the people who our family couldn't do this, couldn't get rid of the weathering curse. How did she do it? And I have to accept that it wasn't me that helped her. I have to accept that like I'm no longer, you know, the dad that I want to be in her life, and we don't have a lot of time to spend together. And he has to come to terms with that. And I think he's doing a really good job of it. That's what I'll say about the scene. Really well done there for Ryosuke as well. But yeah, and of course, before we talk about the biggest scene in the whole thing for me is the stuff at the end there, like the build up to talking about how everyone is like, you know, what does Pearl want? What does this character want? What is going to happen here? What's the setup here? Is there going to be danger here? It sets up the next scene so perfectly. Gives us a transition where it's like we're talking about like, okay, this is going to be really terrifying. Whatever's going to happen here is going to be really terrifying. And it could possibly end in like disaster. They're setting up the idea that this could go either way. And it's a really well done way of setting up the final scene there we had there where everyone's in the express together. Yeah, really cool stuff, honestly. I really like that scene a lot. And just a transitionary scene. It's a transitionary scene to talk about everyone's feelings on it and then move everyone to the future. Just really good stuff. Yeah. The scene with Don Hong and Blade. This is masterful. This is why I love Honkai Star Rail. They made a scene, as I said, that would satisfy the shippers, satisfies the fan fiction writers, the fandom. It satisfies the people that want to see like Blade and Don Hong like have tension between them, that tension that we all want to see. What's going to happen when they meet up? What will happen? How are they going to interact with each other? But also give some levity to the scene as well, where we can enjoy our time here as well and laugh and smile and not feel so hardened and kind of like, you know, boxed in. And again, because the tension's great, but the fact that they gave us some levity too is like really like it let us enjoy that scene a lot more than like, because I feel like we would have enjoyed the scene as like as a well-written scene, but the fact we also got to laugh and smile as well for a Blade and Don Hong scene, it's like they gave us everything. As I said, didn't dissipate any of the tension, didn't change any of the harder stuff that would have to be talked about, didn't change the feeling of like, oh my god, these two people are actually meeting each other. And even with the way they framed the camera work, having Blade walk towards Don Hong and he's way taller, he becomes this imposing figure. Having Don Hong, even though he's shorter, getting right up into Blade's face. Having this split screen. Having this scene where they're like right across from each other and Silverwolf is in the middle. Like, they did such a good job of framing this in a way that, like, you know, satiated our feelings for what is this going to be like when they meet up with each other, right? And you could say it would have been cooler to have them just like draw their blades on each other, right? No. Originally, I thought that was what was going to happen. But now I'm like, my idea of like what happened to Blade showing up during like an epic battle or something massive, which I thought would have been really cool. I can safely say that my idea is not nearly as good as what they came up with. Because in my head, Blade shows up, the smoke settles, he's with Silverwolf, he destroys a bunch of things here as well, and he clashes blades with Don Hong, but then like they stop during the clash of blades, and then they have a conversation about something when Blade leaves very quickly. What we got was miles better than anything I could have thought would have happened. Don Hong walking down the street and seeing Blade just chilling is freaking so cool. And then having Don Hong being so direct, showing the growth that he's had since the nightmares he used to have about Blade, you know what I mean? I know a lot of you guys have dreams about Blade, but like he had nightmares about Blade, and like having it be a thing where like the tension kept rising and dissipating. Blade was laughing, then he was serious. Don Hong was like being a bit more jokey, and then he was serious. They did a good job of like making the scene like, you know, feel, as I said, lighthearted and also heavy. And basically Don Hong said to Blade that there is a divination that you will cause some sort of catastrophe here, and he talked about the thing inside of him called Shuhu that created living planets as people and formed people together as big flesh balls. Yeah. I guess. And this is the thing that keeps reincarnating, and he believes, and maybe the Zansho believes, that there's a possibility that they could reincarnate. They're using Blade's body to reincarnate that as well. The tension bubbles in this scene. They come face to face. They have back and forths here as well, and Don Hong comes to the conclusion with Blade that he has to keep an eye on him. That we're probably going to get way more Don Hong and Blade stuff. You're going to be someone who I have to keep an eye on. And Don Hong gets right up in his face as he says it as well. You know? Blade gets, as I said, Blade gets in his face as well. Like, it's such a fantastically well-crafted scene. And the fact that the notion now is that we're going to get more Blade and Don Hong at some point, perfect, amazing stuff. And I do love as well the Silver Wolf is injected into the scene too. I think it's one of those things where like, as I said, she would, even if she wasn't there, it would have been an amazing scene. But the fact that she asked the boys if they want slushies, and Donong's like, thank you, because he wants a slushie, and Blade's like, I'm okay. And then also at the same time too, like having it be like, I love it. I love like, you know, when you have something that is very serious, and they didn't betray the seriousness, but they had Silver Wolf kind of be like, these two guys. Oh, these two guys, you know. It added, as I said, levity to the scene. Again, the framing was fantastic. And also, like, again, they brought up the idea of death once again. And it's so interesting how Blade is such an unbelievably dynamic character. Because Elio told him that death is what is here for him. Now, whatever that means, he doesn't want to get his hopes up. But this scene perfectly encapsulates what Blade is. Don Hong laughing, like jokingly goes, should I congratulate you? And Blade goes, don't count your, I won't get my hopes up. Because Blade wants to die. And the fact that Blade is here because he's excited at the concept of possibly dying is equal parts. Again, this is why this scene is so good. We can have a laugh in this scene, but we can also acknowledge like, oh my God, this is still such a heartbreaking story for Blade. And at the same time too, you have Don Hong who like, you know, is trying to stay serious with Blade as well and trying to keep up this front. So like, not this front, but trying to keep the tension there. Because I don't think it's him pretending. It's him like being serious, but like, I have to be assured that you're not going to hurt my friends or this planet. Don Hong has like grown so much since Xianqiu. Grown so much. Not just like in emotions, but like, you know, he's not just the imbiber de Lune we met before. You know what I mean? He's not. He's also, you know, cutie patootie Taicher as well, you know? He is, before people think I'm just talking about Don Hong baseline. 1 second here, sorry. Before people think like, oh, he's just talking about Don Hong baseline here. You'll see what I'm talking about. Don't look at me like that. Or you can't look at me like you have permission. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, cutie patootie tight shirt. I forgot how to pronounce the name or say the name fully, I'll be honest, today. I knew the Teray part, but I forgot to say, was it the Permanence part? But yeah, like he has grown in so many different ways. So like it shows his growth and it shows the character growth over so long that he's able to go up to Blade and not only like get in his face, but also, you know, when he talks about his death, to be able to go back and say like, oh, should I say congratulations? He's not there, you know, being ultimately sympathetic towards Blade. He's still he is being this person that's tough for his friends, tough for the people around him. He's taking the initiative. He's coming face to face with someone who used to be in his nightmares. This person used to be in his nightmares. And now Don Hong is coming face to face with him. The pride I have in Don Hong is always so strong. And this is another one of those times where like I feel such a strength and such a power radiating from him, and I think it's absolutely amazing, honestly. An amazing scene, an incredible scene, and as I said, a heartbreaking scene too, because we were reminded once again that Blade is like heading towards death, and it's always such an interesting, you know, dynamic with the Stellar Hunters, where like, you know, we have so many different personalities and wants and needs, and you talk about how Firefly wants to live and Blade wants to die. Like at the baseline, if you just said it on paper, character who wants to die, character who desperately wants to die is immortal. One line, it's like, oh my God, that's such an interesting character. And the way they flesh out Blade, the way we're actually just seeing him here now with Don Hong, it's incredible. Love the scene so much. Guys, I'm having such a great time on Planet Arcadia. It's so incredible. We're going to be playing more very soon too. It's going to get very Hoyo jam-packed, as if you're seeing this video, this upcoming week will be the release of the Genshin stuff as well, which, you know, like there's overlap, but there's not always like a joint, you know, thing together. But just to let you guys know, there will be like the Archon quest for Snezhnaya will be starting next week. I think it's next week or this week upcoming. I think so. And I'm very, very excited. But Penacony is, sorry, not Penacony. Planet Arcadia is continuing. I want to make that clear for you guys. If you're worried about like less videos, no, it's going to be one of those things where we will like continue on Thursday, Saturday. You're getting more Honkai Star Rail. Just there it is. It's not stopping. It's not ending. It's not going away. You're getting more, as always. But yeah, I want to say thank you so much for watching this, and thanks so much for being a part of this journey. If you want to see these videos early, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon for €1 or whatever is in your currency, and you get every single Honkai Star Rail video and every single video on the channel completely early for the entire month of your pledge for YouTube members or on Patreon. If you want to see your name go by in the text credits, which is going by right now, that is the Chunky Baby Gangsta tier, and it's €10, and just like you see on the screen right now, you'll get your name going by just like that as well. If you want to hear your name be shouted out at the end of every single video, that is the highest tier in YouTube members or Patreon, and that is the €15 tier, the I Can Never Repay the Baby Gangsta tier, and you get your name read out every single video, not just Honkai Star Rail, every single video. And I want to say thank you so much to my patrons at the highest tier, that being Ty Pharaoh 2, Jamie Bull, Janet the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, Yassassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Casparian, Neo Showerite, Leah 200, Malcolm Conde, Axler21, and the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco, Lusanagi, and Zay. See you guys soon. Bye bye.